What's going on, everybody? Welcome and thank you for joining us for anything and everything rock and roll. Of course, with a little bit of ADD. I'm Zach.
I'm TJ.
And I'm Robin.
And you're listening to Rock Detention.
I don't feel tardy.
Gentlemen, how are we?
I feel a little tardy to this one. I feel like, because I haven't really talked to y'all this week, I do actually feel a little tardy to the conversation, because... Like,
because you are.
Yeah, I know. My bad.
Where have you been, Robin? Why haven't you been returning my texts?
Mine.
I took
Snapchats.
I took a vacation. I took a week off to just spend time with my girlfriend, and that's it. So it was her birthday, and I just wanted to spend time with her.
When? Happy birthday, Molly.
Last Thursday, 3/11 day. I will never forget her birthday.
One day after Mario Day.
So.
Because of the band 311.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and because they have 3/11 day, like they actually play like a 6-hour concert on that day every year.
Oh, did they this year?
They did a live stream. I think they did instead of doing a whole concert, they did a live stream. Yeah, I know. Let's just skip over it. They did a whole live stream of their Transistor album. My roommate's a fan, so we got the live stream. So.
Righteous. Cool.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. TJ, what have you been up to, brother?
Oh, just living, working. Got a new shirt.
There you go. Hey!
There it is.
I want that shirt.
To each other.
Guess how long the sleeves lasted.
Like they probably not even out of the box. Like the whole shirt probably hadn't even come out of the box. You just started clipping away.
I cut through the plastic.
That's wonderful.
Did you cut the neck out too?
Of course.
Okay.
Can't have that hold me back.
Yeah, man. Can't have that constrictionness.
I don't believe that's a word, but okay. It is now.
You heard it here first, folks.
Well, Robin's got a little V-neck going on, like a.
Are you? Do you?
A tiny. It's like.
Yeah, it's a tiny one.
Oh.
This is the shirt that I wear when I'm like a side guy at a show and I don't need to be. I'm not anywhere out front or needing to be seen. It's just wear black, show up, and be in the back. So, or is what we affectionately refer to as pit black, when you're playing in like pit orchestras.
Huh.
So that's what this shirt's for.
I
just threw it on.
Man, I don't know how I'd feel about that if someone said, all right, just sit in the back and don't do anything.
Yeah, just play your part.
I'm kind of loud and out there,
Maybe you should lower the V-neck a little bit and you'll be up front, Robin.
Yeah, working on it.
Robin, take your shirt off. We can't hear you. Okay. All right, TJ, who we got going this week? Give us a little, how did this happen?
Oh, man. So it's good to be excellent to each other, as you know, like the shirt says.
Always.
And, you meet people, and then sometimes you get a random text. They'll be like, hey, text this guy. Drop him a line, see what he says. He'd be down to do it. And so I don't know how to introduce greatness, honestly. But, we'll just let the greatness shine through. So, if you guys are ready, without further ado, Mr. Dahniel Knight.
Hey!
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Mr. Daniel?
That intro is way too kind and way out of line.
Man, I gotta tell you, TJ, for not being like a musician, a touring musician, you always meet the right people. I wouldn't be surprised if you went to a Guns N' Roses concert and then afterwards you FaceTime me and you were hanging out with Axl. You're that guy that could pull that off.
You don't remember that night?
Yeah, Zach, he called me.
After you ignored my call, I called Robin.
All right. I'm done here. It's been a great night. Thank you.
It was fun. All right, good night, guys.
Appreciate you being here, Daniel.
It was fun.
Shortest episode yet. Hey, there's a first for everything.
Hey.
Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's it. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Nah, I'm all good. How are you guys doing?
We're hanging in there.
Always good, man.
Good.
Ready for live music to be back. It's so close.
Me too.
Yeah. Where are you at right now, Daniel?
I'm in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you live in LA or are you just there right now?
Yeah, I've been out since 2009.
Oh damn.
I came out here Yeah, actually, I got headhunted for a band, and I ended up coming out here. And, yeah, and I've been out here ever since. And this is actually the second time I lived here because I lived out here in the '90s too, at the tail like '97 to '98, and then I moved to the country, and then moved back to Minnesota, and then back here in 2009.
I don't hear your accent. You don't say Minnesota.
Oh no, dude! Dude, you know what? When I first moved to Minnesota, I have no fucking idea what they're. Can we cuss on here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea what they were saying because I used to play college football, right? And so, a lot of the guys on the team were from these small Minnesota towns, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we can go on the boat." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Doing what? Go on the boat?" I'm like, "I'm not getting on a boat in the middle of winter." No, on the boat. I'm like, "What? Out and about?" I'm like, I don't get it.
Out and about.
Yeah.
Okay. Even I was like, what?
Dude, it was a completely different language to me. I was like, okay, whatever.
Did you play college ball?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, righteous, man.
Yes, sir.
What position?
I played tight end my first year, and then defensive end my second year. And,
Man, I felt really cool asking you that, but I don't know what either of those things mean. But I think it's awesome.
well,
least
both
sports guy
positions
here.
actually face each other, so I just went on the other side.
Okay, right on, man.
Yeah, but I ended up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I know the kicker and the quarterback. That's.
I got
If you would
kicked.
have said one of the. Oh, you were a kicker too.
No, I got kicked.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah, but I ended up breaking my hand in a game on my birthday. And I
Ooh.
broke. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. And I think about a week later, a buddy of mine called. He's like, hey, I'm putting together a band. You play guitar, right? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't. And so I went and put a guitar on layaway at Guitar Center. And I had like 4 months to learn how to play guitar. And so I haven't been doing music ever since.
So you pulled the Nikki Sixx move, in a sense, kind of.
Yeah.
Except you didn't steal it. You just put it on layaway and
Layaway, yeah.
started going. Yeah.
So your first instrument was guitar.
No, my first instrument is drums. My parents owned a nightclub in Chicago, and I've been playing drums since I can walk. Really, I stopped for years at a time, but I started on drums though. So
What you started on drums? What'd you move to next?
football.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it was I would say drums to bass, and then I guess I was probably 23 or so when I started playing guitar, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So somewhat of a late bloomer as far as guitar players go. And I had a cast on when I was learning how to play. So
Damn.
Um,
I quit guitar now.
what?
I'm gonna quit guitar now.
No. It was different back then when for me growing up, because the way I taught myself was because I didn't take any lessons. But back then, MTV used to play videos.
yeah.
And so I would just sit in front of the TV with the guitar. Whenever video came on, I tried to learn the song. And so that's how I taught myself. So you got
There you
like
go.
3 minutes, 30-something seconds to learn a song before it goes up.
Oh Lord. You didn't like record it to a VHS and then rewind that?
No. That's too techie for me.
Man, being a hired gun myself, I don't know how people used to learn songs. We've got programs now where we can slow things down, and there's tablature and music and chord charts, and I mean, God bless you guys.
Yeah, we just had to do it, man. Shit, and if you didn't have the song on cassette, you either had to buy it or you had to fake it. One of the two. If you think about it, yeah. Or just, hopefully catch it on the radio and make your own mixtape.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Check
I
it
miss
out.
cassettes.
Oh man, I miss doing that. I miss catching my mom showed me when I was, it's like 6 or 7 years old how to do the whole record a cassette thing while the radio's playing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I miss trying to like oh, they're playing the Beatles. And like try to get it right on time, and so learn how to do that. And then I transitioned to doing it with vinyls, and drop the vinyl and start recording.
Yeah. Did you ever do the multi-tracking with two boom boxes?
No.
So you'd record a guitar part and then hit play on what you just recorded, and then hit record on the other boom box, so it would play what you played, then you play into that and go back and forth.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's smart.
It didn't sound great, but
It worked.
Yeah.
So it worked. It worked.
That's how people used to build harmonies.
So, our friend Natasha in the chat would like to know what band headhunted you that brought you to LA.
Okay. All right. I'll make this story kind of short and long at the same time. All right. So, you guys remember the movie Transformers, right?
Yes.
Yep.
The whole series. Right?
Shia LaBeouf?
Shia LaBeouf.
Right on.
Is it LaBeouf?
LaBeouf.
Oh, I don't know.
It depends on what country you're in when you pronounce it, I think.
I'm going to say LaBeouf.
LaBeouf.
So my buddy who's in advertising, he met one of the music supervisors for the Transformers movies. And I grew up on Transformers. I'm a huge cartoon fanatic, especially Transformers and stuff. And so he called me. He's like, hey, listen, I met one of the people from Transformers and they're looking for some music. Would you be interested in maybe trying to write a song? I'm like, yeah. And so he lived across town about 15 minutes away. I was in Uptown. He was in St. Paul. And I wrote the song in my head by the time I got to his house, right? So I wrote this song called Gravity and submitted it. And they had it for, 5-6 months, whatever. And it didn't make it to the movie. That they decided to go with Linkin Park, all signed acts and all this stuff. But the song got picked up by 93X and they started playing it at drive time. Right. And then you remember, did they still do the cage match?
Oh, it's been a while, so I haven't listened to the radio much, but
okay.
I know a cage match what you're talking about though. Like just go at nighttime and it'd be like, all right, this song or this song, this song and that song.
And then people call in and go.
Yep.
So the song went in cage match and I was beaten because it's all national acts except for they threw me in there. So it was like against like Breaking Benjamin and Hailstorm. I think I went up against a Queensryche song and all that stuff. And by fluke, Duff McKagan was in Minneapolis doing radio promo for his band called Loaded. Mm-hmm. And they were playing the song at 93X and he got my number from the DJ and he called me. He's like, hey, we're looking for a singer for Velvet Revolver. You interested? I'm like, I live in Minneapolis. It's like, yeah. So he's like, I'm playing in Kansas City next week. And he come down. So I went down to Kansas City. Hung out with him for like 3 hours on this bus talking music. By the way, if you guys ever get a chance to meet that dude, he's cool as shit. Oh, and he's a drummer too, by the way. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he like as Zach would say, he oozes like a rock star. Like,
yeah, he's pretty dope. So, long story short, he's like, hey, listen, we're looking for a new singer for a replacement for Scott Weiland. Would you be interested in coming out and audition? He goes, send me all your material. So I sent him everything I had. And basically I moved to LA to come out and do the Velvet Revolver gig. So, wow. So by the time I got here, I called him and he's like, yeah, Scott's trying to sue us or whatever it was. It's like, just hold tight. I'm like, fuck it, I'm in LA now. I'm going to stay. And then literally about a week and a half later, I met Billy Ray Cyrus in a parking lot. He's like, you play guitar? I'm like, yeah. He goes, cool, I need a guitar player.
What year was this?
This was 2000. I moved out here in 2009.
Damn.
Wow.
That is a story.
Wait a minute. You're walking back to your car, and Billy Ray Cyrus says, hey, do you play guitar?
Actually, it's funnier than that because I was smoking cigarettes and drinking beer with my buddy John. And it was at Transformer Studios in Burbank. And, the sun was dark out. And this Range Rover pulls in. This dog gets out. And this dude walks up. I can see his shadow. And this is what he said. He goes, you look like a tall drink of water. I'm like, thanks. He goes, hi, my name is Billy Ray Cyrus. I'm like, I'm Dan. He goes, you play guitar? I'm like, yeah. He goes, good, because I think you're my guitar player. I got a band called Brother Clyde, and I think we need a brother in the band. And that's how I got the gig. And I'm the only person in the band that didn't audition. So my roommate was actually auditioning for the project. I had no idea about it. And then we had Jamie Miller from Snot. You remember him? The drummer?
I can't say that.
Yeah, he's playing with Bad English right now.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, he plays the drums for them, but he was the other guitar player. So we had 3 drummers in the band. So it was me, Jamie, and then Samantha Maloney from Hole and Motley Crue and Peaches. She was on drums. And then Dave Henning was on bass from Big Wreck.
Oh my God. So, Big Wreck is one of my favorite bands, man.
Mine too.
Ian
That was my
Thornley.
roommate. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Shit.
Uh-huh.
Because I heard, speaking of Ian, I heard read an interesting story that he too was also looked at for Velvet Revolver, and the only reason he didn't take it is because they wanted him to put the guitar down and just sing.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Yep.
I'm so glad that story is true.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's true story.
You
And
got it. You're verified. Cool.
I tell you what, dude. I love Slash, but Ian is no fucking joke, dude.
Dude,
He can play. And
My-
people don't know how well he can
he's
play.
got a song. The Big Rec's got a song on their album Albatross called "You Caught My Eye,"
Mhm.
and it is this like slow, like grungy. He's got an octave fuzz pedal on his guitar, and when he gets to that solo, just the way he plays it, it's just like it just drips like sexiness. Like it's just
He's
so good.
Yeah. Kind of like probably the same tone off of Mistake.
Probably yeah.
Yeah. You kidding me?
Ah, so good.
Actually, the funny thing about Big Rec is because I was a huge fan of Big Rec before I met Dave, and this guy Sekou, who's a drummer up in Canada, he ended up playing in Thornley's solo project.
Mhm.
I met him at a show because he was playing drums for Ben Kinney from Incubus,
Ooh.
Ben's solo project. And when I got there, Dave from Big Rec was there, and that's how I met Dave, and Dave and I became tight. And so before I came out to this is all fucked up. So before I came out to California, Dave and I were friends. Dave got the Slash gig playing in Slash's solo band, right? So
the
Dave
Snake Pit one? Slash
What's
Snake
that?
Pit? Slash Snake Pit?
just the last one with Miles and
Oh, okay.
and
Wait,
Brent
what did
on
Dave play?
bass. But he
Okay.
didn't make it. He didn't make it to the two.
So
he
this
made-
is pre Todd Kearns.
yes, right before Todd.
Okay, right on.
So Dave called me. He's like, "Hey man, I got the Slash gig. I don't really trust anybody in LA. How do you feel about moving to LA and staying at my house and watching my house while I'm on tour?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to move to LA right now to go sing for Velvet." So it worked out, and we became roommates, and then we both got the Billy Ray gig together.
That's
That's
Awesome.
dope.
Yeah.
now. What is the Billy Ray band called?
It's called Brother Clyde.
Okay, and is that still going on?
No. Well, no. We talk about it every once in a while. Samantha completely quit playing. You know, Jamie's busy as shit. I haven't talked to Dave in a while, but I mean, I talk to Billy quite often, and we're thinking about maybe, well, we've talked about going and doing some more music, recording another record or something. It'd be fun because we had a blast, man. It was a good time. But we'll see.
I've never met him. My father worked with him in Nashville, but
okay.
I imagine he's just the coolest dude to work with.
Dude, he's so unassuming because you think, I mean, the way he carries himself, he's one of the most intelligent people you'll ever meet.
I believe
not
it.
only that, he's definitely the hardest working person. I've never seen anybody that works as much as that dude. And he's the sweetest dude, too. And his whole family's like that. So if you go over to the Cyrus house, man, they're like, "Hey, Uncle D, how you doing?" And they're just chill. And everybody in his family is successful. And people don't really realize, I mean, because everybody knows about Miley
Sure.
and Noah, but his son Trace was in Metro
Station.
Yeah.
I was a huge
I
fan of them in
remember
high
that.
school.
Okay.
Yep.
Did
That's
not
his-
know for the
Oh, was
longest
that the
time
Shake It-
that he
the
was
Shake
of the
It song?
Cyrus family.
Shake it, yep.
Yep.
And then Brazen, his other son, he put out a record last year. He's kind of like a folk dude. He's fucking great. So yeah, everybody in his family's cool. And Brandy, she's dope too. Everybody in his family's cool.
How many kids are there?
Noah, Miley, Brandy, Brazen, 5.
Oh, dang. I did not know he had that many kids. Right
Mhm.
on. Cool.
Yeah, it was a fun gig, man. And you know, Brother Clyde was more or less kind of a super group. I was the only non-super. You know.
Oh, we think you're pretty super.
Yeah.
Super duper.
No, whatever. But you know, it was one of those kind of bands where we got to cut loose and do whatever, you know. It was fun. We did some really cool gigs. We did, you know, the late night TV shows. We played Full Throttle Saloon back when it was aired on TV and all that shit. And, I mean, it was fun. It was fun, and more than anything, just hanging out with Billy was dope because he's such a funny dude. And for him to like open up to us and tell us stories about shit and how he grew up. Like he was telling me his very first concert that he went to was Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then he got kicked. Was it either him or his brother got kicked out of school the next day because they smelled like weed from the concert? So.
Sounds about right.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I ended up in LA the second time.
Damn.
Okay, well, I've got a I'm the nerd here who like writes down questions and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
TJ and I just like to naturally have a conversation. Zach's the organized one that like.
All right.
sweet, man. Thanks. Let's call me out on live television.
Oh,
in
before
front of
you go on, Zach.
13,000 people.
Before you go on, Zach, there is a follow-up question to this that Natasha wants to know. What is your favorite Transformer?
Oh, you know what, man? Okay, so my buddy calls me Optimus Prime because I always like skip out and just roll out. I'm out, you know. But to be honest with you, dude, I'm gonna have to go with Bumblebee.
I was about to joke.
I was just thinking that.
I was about to
Either that
joke.
or Megan Fox.
She's yeah, but have you seen her thumbs though?
Dude,
I
what
don't
is
give a
it?
damn.
Dude, God, dude, I'm so Jerry Seinfeld, man. I'll find the most ridiculous things about being
The
like
man hands, like the thumbs, man.
No, dude. I don't give a damn.
Dude, I dated a girl and she forgot to flush the toilet once. I'm like, you know, this is the beginning of the end. So, no, Megan Fox is super dope, but Bumblebee because he's small, but Bumblebee fucks some shit up.
Yeah, I was about to joke with you when I asked the question. I was gonna be like, "What's your favorite Transformer and why is it Bumblebee?" I kind of wished I'd done that.
Yeah. And I also owned a couple Volkswagen Bugs back in the day.
Nice.
Wait, I have a question. I'm not a nerd. Sorry.
Oh.
So.
You just said you were a nerd earlier, and now you're saying you're not a nerd.
Make up your mind, bro.
Okay, I thought Bumblebee was a Camaro.
In the new ones, he's a Camaro.
Yeah.
And then they made that, or the original Bumblebee movie where he's actually goes back to being a bug.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with Camaro. Sorry.
It's all right. It's okay.
Hey.
Just saying. I'm sure he's awesome, but like I said, my pick is still Megan Fox for favorite Transformer.
You know what? What's her name? Jason Statham's girl. What's her name?
Ooh,
She was in the Transformers, the Chicago one. Ooh. What is her name?
Did you just purr, sir?
Oh, maybe look. It might have been a Transformer kind of noise. I don't know. Yeah, she was
Rose Huntington Whitley.
Dude, and she
Yes.
has Rose Huntington.
Dude, she sounds like a princess.
I think she's British.
She might be.
Please bow
Yes,
down.
she's
to
British.
Huntington.
So
Rose. Yeah, she's smoking. Woo!
Okay. Well,
You know, I gotta give it up to Michael Bay, man. He's got good taste in women.
absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. And he
That-
actually
it's
dated a friend of mine
great-
who was also smoking hot too.
good taste in women, terrible taste in like a great story. Like
Yeah,
he
so
is
you just
all
blow
about
stuff
the
up, though. You blow
explosions.
stuff up. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's all about
Yeah.
the explosions and like the popcornness of the movie, and yeah,
Not mad at that.
it's like I'm still gonna go see the movies.
Yeah, right.
Battleship was
Well-
a terrible movie. I'm still gonna watch it.
Mhm.
Now Michael Bay's not going to come on the show. Thanks, Robin.
What do you?
Sorry, Michael Bay.
No, we talk good about Michael.
We
Bay.
talk good
He
about
just-
Michael Bay,
He
You
just
just
blows
said
stuff
one
up.
of his movies was horrible.
dude. Battleship is a terrible movie, and I bet you that Michael Bay probably thinks the same thing.
No.
But he knew he could make it work.
Yeah.
Because he just blew stuff up, and I was like, oh, that's
Oh.
awesome.
Which movie is Battleship? I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Oh, it's
Point exactly.
yeah.
Okay, now Zach, you really ruined it. We're good there.
Now he's
I
done.
haven't seen it.
I've never even heard of it.
It was a flop at the box office. It came out. It like literally came and went, and a lot of the trailers had Liam. So Liam Neeson's in the movie, and a lot of the trailers had Liam Neeson as kind of a central focus of the trailer, and he's only in like 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, really?
Hey,
Yeah.
I got redemption for us. How about this? Michael Bay's next movie, Shoots and Ladders.
There you go.
What?
No, he's
Nope.
not actually shooting that, but it would be a great movie.
I'll like.
Speaking
I'd
of
go to
movies, so my roommate sat me down the other night and had me watch Tombstone, I'd never seen Tombstone before, and if you've never seen that movie, fucking go do it. It is brilliant. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it.
That's not is that a Michael Bay movie?
No, it's not. I was just kind of like movies we were talking. I don't know. My brain.
Old West to...
What? Why did you tell us about this?
Because I was coming back. It's like
ADD
we're talking about a terrible film, and I'm like, hey, here's a great film to go watch. Go watch it,
guys. I made this pork roast last night. It was out of this world, and I just thought y'all should know that. Okay, I told you.
I'm just saying.
Hey, have you guys seen a movie called Good Boys? Have you seen that yet?
Yes.
Oh, so good, dude.
I laughed so hard.
Which movie is that?
The new Seth Rogen one?
No,
the kids.
Yeah, 3 kids are like 6th graders.
Oh my God.
Seth Rogen directed that or something.
Oh, really?
I think so. God, I haven't seen it yet, but this was like the one time on the show where Zach would be like, "Have you seen this movie?" And I'll be like, "No." Usually it's the other way around.
It's hysterical. There were times that I was like, I probably shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah, but... there were some like really awkward moments in the movie, but then there were some really hilarious moments in the movie.
Yes.
Dude, I love when kids cuss. I don't know. That's just my.
Have you seen
when he fucked his arm up?
And then he has to pull it back into socket. Yes. Oh, I gotta go rewatch it. It's so good.
Have you seen? Ryan Reynolds has this kid recite, like the opening spiel that Deadpool gives at the beginning of like the first movie or something, and it's this kid that recites it, and it's Ryan Reynolds with his phone, and so you can see Ryan and the kid in the background, and then they have it playing, and the kid's just reciting it along with the movie, and it's fucking hilarious.
You know what? Fucking Ryan Reynolds, man.
Oh, dude, genius.
Yeah.
I'm not a gin guy, but every once in a while I'm like, man, I kind of want to drink your gin.
Oh yeah,
just to support you. Like, he makes his
Aviation Gin is Ryan Reynolds' gin.
Dude, he's got a cell phone company now too, or
yeah, he's got Mint Mobile.
Yeah.
He got Rick Moranis out of retirement.
Yeah, he brought Rick Moranis out of retirement to be in the commercial for Mint Mobile.
Nobody can do that.
Wow.
Hey man, you know what? I like Ryan Reynolds. Like, I'm not into dudes. That's a handsome dude right there. You know what I'm saying?
Take it a step further. I love the guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Ryan, we want you on the show. Come on the show.
I think too. Dude, when he was in Blade, fucking stole the whole movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so Wesley Snipes hated him so much, he refused to do his scenes with him. So anytime there's like a conversation towards like, I think like maybe the first couple of conversations in the movie between the two are him and Wesley, but for the rest of the movie, you'll never see them like looking at each other like this. It's always like over the shoulder of someone. So this is always a stand-in if it's Wesley's character.
Really?
It's not actually Wesley. Yeah. They butted heads so much.
All right.
Check Wesley Snipes off, not coming on the show.
Wesley Snipes is a jerk.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now he's definitely not going to be on the show, but tell us why.
I met him at a comedy show, and he's just kind of an ass. But I didn't want to, I didn't know if he actually knows karate for real. So like, all right, whatever.
Well, hate him all you want. The first Blade, basically, because of its success, Marvel was able to take off the way that it did. Yeah. So,
super talented. It just, it's funny because they always say never meet your idols. and literally out of everybody that I've met, I've only met 2 people that I just didn't dig.
Yeah.
Wait.
No. I've been very blessed.
Hopefully we're not on the list.
3. I got 3 actually.
Every time I hear that phrase, never meet your idols or anything like that, I just think of Donald Glover from Community when he meets LeVar Burton. And he like just freaks out, and then like just cuts to the next scene, and he's just in the bathroom, like just rocking back and forth, singing "Reading Rainbow," because he's like he had this whole thing of like, I never want to meet him because if he doesn't if he doesn't meet my expectations, then it's just ruined. The whole illusion of LeVar Burton is ruined.
Yeah, and see, I don't want to meet Sam Jackson because I don't like Sam Jackson, and I don't want to meet him and have him be nice. Is that weird?
Nope. It's if you do it in like the sports sense, there's some people in sports I don't want to meet. Like, damn it.
I want to meet Sam Jackson, so if I meet him, I'll let you know. Okay. If he's nice, because he's Mace Windu to me, and that's like
Hey, look, man. You know, I tell you, what was that movie? The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis.
Nope, never saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
he got beat up for like 2.5 hours. That's the only movie I liked of it.
Oh, have you seen The Hitman's Bodyguard with him
What's
and Ryan
that?
Reynolds? The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
It's actually pretty
I
good.
boycott all his shit.
What?
I boycott all his
Oh.
movies.
Why don't you like Sam Jackson?
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe because everything. I hope they all go to hell, and I hope they all die and go to hell. Really? That's all you got, guy?
I'm not gonna lie. The Shaft the newest Shaft movie was pretty fucking hilarious.
Wait, there's more than one?
There's a
Yeah.
so
Well,
there's
did
a
he do
new
like
one.
one originally, and then they just did another one?
So there's the original
Walter.
Shaft, the show from the 70s. And
Yeah,
then,
but I know. I thought he's done like 2 Shafts now. Like
Right.
he's like, all right, the first one didn't work, but now I'm more popular, so let me do another
So
one.
he did. So they did the first Shaft. It wasn't that, it wasn't that popular. It was still popular, but it wasn't that popular. And then they made a sequel to that, dealing with his son, and they brought back the original Shaft from the
Oh,
70s.
huh?
So you've got Shaft Senior,
Right.
Shaft Junior, and then the youngest Shaft. And it's actually a really funny movie.
Really? They should call it Extended Shaft.
There you go.
I mean, Ben maybe whatever.
Well, thank you for joining us for IMDb detention.
I'm sorry, man.
Hey, there was some.
Car.
Hey, the Shaft theme, Isaac Hayes. That's some good
Say
stuff, man.
Shaft one more time.
Shaft.
I here's Isaac Hayes and the Shaft thing. Shaft.
So, is it bad that the way that I learned of Isaac Hayes was Chef off South Park?
Nope.
Okay. Like,
I don't know.
I've always kind of kept that to myself because everybody that I work with in Austin, it's they're usually older than me, so I'm always learning from them. And when we talk, sometimes when we're playing at Eddie V's, someone will come up and be like, hey, do you mind doing some Isaac Hayes or some Barry White or anything from like that era? And so we'll start playing it, and then we're sitting there shooting the shit and talking about things, and they're like, yeah, man, Isaac's album, so and such and such, man, that was such a great album, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, that album. All I can think of is Chef from South Park, because that's what I know him from.
Right. Well, no, I don't think so at all. And I tell you what, man, between Beavis and Butthead, South Park, and any Adam Sandler movie, those guys are actually giving props to old music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, they're bringing it to light.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that love South Park that you're not alone. A lot of people know who he was. If you weren't into like R&B back in the day and all that stuff, because he fizzled out before the 80s hit, really.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't relevant, and so of course no one knew about him. I mean, even think about like that Rick James Chappelle kid. Damn, that didn't come out right. The Dave Chappelle Rick James skit. I mean, people didn't know who Rick James was, and so that kind of like, oh, I need to check out who this Rick James guy is. Which is, oh my god. They had a Rick James story too.
Well,
Let's hear it.
Yeah, we're all for it.
All right. So in the 90s, when I moved to LA, I can't believe. See, I got whiskey in me. I told you I was going to talk a lot if I drink whiskey.
That's all we're here to
Cheers
listen.
to you, brother.
Cheers. So, cheers. So, me and my girlfriend, Jennifer, moved to California. And Jennifer's a waitress, and she got a job instantly, right? This place called National Sports Grill in Los Alamitos. I couldn't find a job to save my fucking life, dude. So, in the Valley, I literally went into every restaurant, every store, and filled out an application. And there was this place called I want to say it was called the Jungle, but it was a bar. It looked like a forest on the inside, right? So I'm filling out an application in the middle of the afternoon, and this like dude that looked like a wizard. It's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like filling out an application. He's like, you look like a musician. I'm like, yeah, I am. He goes, what are you doing with filling out an application? I'm like, I need a job. So he gives me his card. His name was Charles Bolton. So if anybody knows who this guy is, please let me know. Charles Bolton. And so he gives me his card, and it says producer on it. That's really all it says. So I go home, 2 days later, he calls me. He's like, "Hey, this is Charles Bolton. You like Grace Jones?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love Grace Jones." Like, "Yeah, you want to go to this Grace Jones show at the House of Blues?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." So I didn't have a job. I didn't have any fucking money. So I literally borrowed $100 bill from my girlfriend, right? Just so I didn't want to go to the bar without anything, right? So this dude gives me his address. I take my brand new Jeep over to his house, and he lives in a duplex, right? And you can tell it's a duplex when you get there. Knock on the door, he opens it up. He's got the whole place. He knocked down the center wall between the two units, right? Mm-hmm. And the place is just like super horrible, just shit everywhere. Just I'm like, fuck, what am I doing? And so he goes, "Yeah, I just got to put on some shoes." So he goes in the back room, and I start looking at like his walls and stuff, and he's got pictures of him and like Janis Joplin, and him, Dylan, and like, you know, Jimmy Page, and all this like memorabilia stuff up on the walls, right? So he's like, "Okay, I'll drive since you don't know LA." I'm like, "That's cool," because I'm planning on drinking it. So we get in his Ford Taurus, McDonald's and wrappers and shit all the way up to my knees, dude. It was like a fucking filth car. And we get to the fucking House of Blues. And you remember back in the day, the House of Blues had a back entrance that would take you from the elevator to, it was called the Foundation Room. It was all VIP.
Yeah.
You could,
Zach and I got in there one night when I'm pretty sure we weren't supposed to be in there.
Yes.
It was after a Steel Panther show.
Yeah. So we get to the fucking podium, and the guy's like, "Hey, Mr. Bolton." He's like, "Hey, this is Dan. He's one of Gladys's people." And I'm like, whatever. So we go up to the Foundation Room, and there's a fucking fireplace, and there's two sofas. And so we're sitting there, and we just start boozing it up, right? And within the hour, it was me, this Charles Bolton guy, Billy Corgan, Rick James, Kim Cattrall, and Kim Cattrall's boyfriend. Who else? Somebody else was there. And I didn't know, dude, it was in 1990, whatever. I didn't know anybody. I'm just sitting there just like, and they're talking amongst each other because they know each other. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then Grace Jones comes up, and she hangs out with us. It turns out that I knew Grace Jones's brother because he played what's it called? Junior Olympic basketball.
Okay.
So we played against each other, right? So anyway, so they come to get Grace because she's already an hour late for the show. And the dude, or our waitress, hands us the bill, and I remember it went right in front of me. And this is just me and Charles's bill. And I remember looking at it, and it said $732.58. I remember this number. It was burned in my head, right? And it went past me because he was sitting next to me. So, you know, you do the slow reach for your wallet, that whole thing. He's like, I got it. I'm like, because I had $100 of it. That's it. So he gets it, he signs it, or he puts his card on there and sends it back to her. He tipped her the exact same amount as the fucking bill, right? And as it was going past, I'm looking at his card, and you know, like cards say Chase Bank, whatever. It said Bolton on it. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? So we close out. We smoke a cigar. I think that's why our bill is so high. We're smoking cigars. I don't even smoke cigars. We go down the show. We're like right in the front of the stage. Grace Jones is fucked up, and she's like singing to us and blah, 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 blah. And then this Charles guy's like, hey, I gotta take a piss. And he goes to the bathroom. 15 minutes passed, nothing. He didn't come back. I didn't know anybody else there. And I look, and I see him being carried out. Like bouncers have him up above their head carrying him out. And I'm trying to get to him because he's my ride. But I never catch him, right? So I ended up having to take a cab from the House of Blues to his house to get my car. And I never heard or saw him ever again.
Dude, okay. This is first of all.
So the next question that I have to interrupt Zach on: when is your book coming out? Because
I already started writing.
Okay, good. Because I'll be first in line to read this book.
Yeah, it's called "Sex Me and Omelets."
That is a great title.
I'm down for all those things. So I first want to point out, folks. Would you say early 90s?
No, it's late.
Late 90s. Okay,
right
so 90s. Dude, $758 at a bar. That's like some Las Vegas bottle service stuff right there.
Yeah.
We were going hard, man.
Like
I mean, I was drinking stuff I didn't know anything about, and he was like buying cigars. I didn't even know you could buy cigars at bars.
I mean, it is now. We've got to find this guy because
I'm avidly looking him up right now. Like I'm trying to find him.
I've literally looked this dude up every year for like since 1998 or whatever the fuck it was.
This would be great if we like had this planned ahead, and like all of a sudden we got a phone call and we were capable of that with our production, and it was like, this is Charles Bolton, and
Do you think you have any relations with Michael Bolton?
I don't know what this guy's story was, to be honest with you. But I mean, like, you know, like I said, he had like his apartment was like he was a hoarder. But after you start looking at shit, like, is that Bob Dylan and him? It was just weird.
And you had no idea what he did or who he was.
He just said he was a producer. He didn't say it was a movie producer, music producer. He had no idea, no clue. And I've never been able to find him.
I know someone who may have.
I'm surprised you didn't, you know, later like go back to the house and knock on the door or something, you know?
You know, I actually drove past it like right before I moved to China, like right before I left LA the first time. And I drove past it and I didn't see his beat up Taurus.
Well, he probably bought a new car.
I don't know, because that one looked lived in. But yeah, I mean, dude, seriously, it was trash in like wrappers up to my knees. I'm like, maybe I should drive. Like, whatever.
That is absurd.
But, dude, I mean, listen, man, my life has been a cartoon since 1942. I'm not that old, but I like to use that as a number. So just random shit happens to me, and most of it's funny. A lot of it you have to like sleep on and think about it for a while, but for the most part, most of it is fucking hilarious, weird, bizarre shit. So,
well, you know what?
That
makes a great book.
My favorite kind of stuff.
Yeah. So a buddy of mine, Mark, he's one of my college buddies. He's a writer actually, and he's like, dude, you should write a book, and you should call it "Sex, Me, and Omelets." All right.
Did he come up with the omelets part, or do you have like a thing for omelets?
Oh, I love omelets. So,
I too.
His whole idea is that, you know, because we lived in the dorms together, and so football players always make up weird stuff like, yeah, I was with 18 girls, and we're like, yeah, you're finished. So he said I should take all these stories that these guys tell in college, and then my shit, and this is like before my shit even happened, and then at the last chapter just be omelet recipes, and I'm done with that.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have a pretty extensive list of people that you've worked with, obviously. And one that I've always been curious about, a band that I've always been curious about, because I've never met anybody who's actually worked with, like, I've met someone who worked at a recording studio that they were at, but I've never met anybody who actually, if I read your website correctly, who's played with them. What was it like to work with Oasis?
Fucking bizarre. I did 2 nights with them.
Okay. What were you playing?
Guitar.
Okay.
So when I left LA, I got in this R&B band. They lost their drummer, and they were supposed to do a tour of China.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be a 3-month, one hotel, or actually 2 hotels. So it was the Hong Kong Hard Rock, and then Guangzhou at the something like high-end hotel. It's because they had a club there. And, you know, when we got there, well, first off, I didn't know that you can drink for free on international flights.
Oh.
It's a good thing to know.
It's all about the wine and the whatever pasta dinner they give you for the rest of the flight.
Dude, I was drinking whiskey like it was going out of style. But, so we got there, and when we landed, and this is the old Hong Kong airport, so when you got off the plane, you're actually on the tarmac. So it wasn't you get off, what are those things called where the tube? So you'd literally get off the plane, and you'd have to walk across the tarmac into the airport. And so when we got there was like a crowd, and I'm like, who the fuck's on the plane with us? They're like, you guys are on the plane. I'm like, we're a fucking R&B cover band. But turns out we were the first all-black band to ever play inside China.
Right? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What year was this?
This was 90. So I moved to LA in 96. Let's see. All right, so I had a 97 Jeep that was brand new. So it was the end of 96. So this would have been like 98, 99-ish, somewhere around
Right
there.
on.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah, and the band was loaded. So like the keyboard player Steve Franks, whose son now is the third top songwriter in the world right now. His son is, yeah, he's writing for Bieber, Ariana Grande. Yeah, Stephen Franks, look him up, he's dope.
Right on.
The bass player, who's actually a drummer, used to play with The Time and Alexander O'Neill.
Okay.
The two singers were from Sounds of Blackness, so they both had Grammys. And then let's see who else was there. And then Adrian Berkeley, who he did a lot of stuff with Prince back in the day. Okay. So it was a great band, and then they stuck my ass in there. I don't know why. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna. You mentioned Prince, but I don't want to sidetrack you from the story. So keep going.
Yeah. So we get there, and we were immediately popular because we're an American band, and first, not only were we an American band, we were the first all-black band to play in China, and so people were like coming out to see us, and it was weird because Chinese culture, they're very stoic when they watch shows. And so it was weird for us, like, oh, we must suck because they're just sitting there like this. But after every song, oh, yeah, and then they go back. But, you know, after
Because they're respectful, correct?
I don't know.
Well,
maybe. Well, plus, Trish, one of the singers, she used to wear miniskirts and do these high, like, Tina Turner kicks all the time. Maybe they're just like, I don't know. Who knows? But my friend Sally started coming to the shows, right? And Sally, she worked for one of the hotels, and she was friends with the guys from Oasis. And I didn't know any of this, and so we took, and her dad was the head of the British consulate, so we used to take the diplomatic jag out with the flags and shit, and just fucking cruise around fucking China at 1 billion miles an hour, drink everything, you know. And so she took me to Hong Kong because we played Monday through Saturday, and I was done at 12:30 Saturday night, and I didn't have to be back to work until Monday at 10 o'clock at night. So we went to Hong Kong, and she took me to the fucking arena, and we just walked in. We're like, hey, Sally, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And walk in, and there's Oasis. Like, is this the guy? She's like, yeah. And I can't remember what the dude's name is, but their guitar player, he was sick. And they basically just threw me in. That was the first time I ever played a big stage.
Damn.
And
wow.
Wait, so you didn't know any of the songs?
No. I heard them. But, I'd heard them because in China there was like Backstreet Boys were huge. What's the what do really want to
Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Huge. Oasis was huge, and the Eagles. And that was outside of Chinese music. That's all I heard. So I knew this on the radio.
So you were going to play the gig, or were you just meeting the guys at this point?
I didn't know where I was going.
So you mean to tell me that your friend took you to an Oasis gig in Hong Kong, you showed up and they just said, oh shit, our guitar player's sick, you're a guitar player, get on stage.
Well, they knew he was sick.
Yeah.
She knew that he was sick. I didn't.
Did you play a show that night?
Yeah.
And you knew none of the songs.
Yeah. And that was the first time that I had ever been terrified on stage, because when I went on stage, the whole stage was like shaking. Just from the noise of the crowd. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And to be honest with you, I don't know if I was in the mains or not. I was just like, yeah, motherfucker. Dude, I could have been in fucking, the key of Q. Who would have fucking know? I have no idea. And I was just like,
that is amazing. Now, were there two guitar players? Guitar, right?
So yeah. The two brothers in Oasis, Liam and Noel. Noel is the guitar player, correct? Liam is the singer.
If I remember right.
They both sing, but Liam, I believe, is the one who's the front man of Oasis, and Noel plays guitar, and he does a lot of the guitar work.
Yeah. Let me get this straight. You didn't have your guitar. They just handed you one, and you put in your monitors, and you didn't even have monitors.
It's just 4 monitors, yeah. Oh.
Dude, God bless you. I that is like one of my worst fears. Is just I'm a perfectionist, so I I learn all of my songs, whenever I do a hired gun gig.
Right.
I oh
I-
my lord.
Remember earlier when I said I was a hack? I'm not kidding. I can hack it out with the best of them.
There you go.
That's incredible.
So
Wow.
it was interesting. And then, the fucked up thing about it is that was it was like a Saturday, Sunday, and then that Monday night I had to go and play in front of like 20 people.
Oh man.
Back at the hotel, I'm like, eh. Oh, and I was even playing guitar on the tour I was on. I was playing drums. So,
God.
It's so
nuts,
funny
man.
because like the stuff that you were playing drums to is like that's the kind of stuff that I want to play drums to. Oasis, I would want to play either the bass or the guitar. Like,
yeah, right? Yeah.
Because like I've played in cover bands and man, like that kind of stuff to me just on drums is just like okay, doon doon ka doon 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 ka doon doon, just a whole song. I'm like all right, I get it, and I'd rather be doing something like moving around, like playing.
Right.
So yeah,
Now,
it's funny.
the funny thing about Oasis songs is I did a gig, a strange 90s gig in Chicago, and I played with Local H. Remember those guys?
Mm-mm.
In the band Local H. Keep it copacetic, you just...
Oh yeah.
But the cover songs they did were Oasis songs, and I had to play bass. I'm like, I got this. Fucking tanked it. I was awful. I was horrible.
So that's a good little segue. What is strange 80s and strange 90s? What is that?
Okay. So Matthew and Nathan Leone, twins, brothers. They're in a band called Medina Lake. I think.
Really?
It's Medina. So, yeah. You know that band?
Yeah, I know that name.
Yeah. The twins. The bass player and lead singer.
Okay. Why do I know that name?
Yeah.
Like-
They got big. They were also on what's that show where you eat all the gross stuff and do really fucked up
Fear
shit?
Factor?
Yeah, they were on that too.
Oh, but dang.
Yeah, and they got like flesh-eating disease. But they won though.
It's fine, dude. I almost died, but I won,
Yeah.
50 grand.
Yeah, they won, but they had to eat like some fucked up shit. It was like, ugh.
Dude, I
But,
wonder what you have to sign away to be on one of those shows. I'm sure they had to.
You'd have to, dude.
Like you get Joe Rogan's phone number, and whatever happens, happens, and that's it.
Oh, Lord.
There's a lot of that stuff I could do. There's a lot of it I can't.
Oh yeah. The
I
one
could bug. I could do that, but if somebody said eat this banana, I'm like, I'm tapping out.
that'd be me and
Oh,
a
you
tomato.
don't like banana?
Dude, I can't even look at bananas.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I used to eat them as a kid, and then when I was in college, I grabbed a banana off the fridge and I peeled it, and I was like, ugh. Haven't touched it, eaten one since.
That's like me and
Wow.
tomatoes.
Yeah.
What?
They easy.
I'm not a tomato. Let me clarify this. It's just raw tomatoes. Like
Oh, okay.
I just can't do raw tomatoes. I love ketchup. I love pasta, marinara, all that kind of stuff. If it's cooked, like I can even take like a cooked tomato. Like if you take the raw tomato and just like cut it up and cook it, I can
Yeah.
eat that. But for some reason, the taste of a raw tomato.
I can't eat tomato soup.
Oh,
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Everything else tomato, cool with tomato.
Wait, how do you feel about Bloody Marys?
I like Bloody Marys.
I do not, but
Really?
I'm glad you do.
Do you like tomato soup?
I don't mind it, especially if there's a grilled cheese with it.
Oh, well, that makes everything better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cheese is good on everything. I don't care what you say.
Hell yeah.
So, strange 80s, strange 90s.
Oh yeah. So strange 80s, strange 90s. I got invited to. I didn't know anything about it. They were having a show at the Fonda, and my buddy was playing, and he asked if I could bring some of my gear because the back of my place is like a music store, dude. I've got an addiction problem. And he's like, hey, can you bring some gear down for back line? I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I brought like a couple guitar amps, and it was cool. They raised money for charity. And the following season, I got a call from a buddy of mine, a guy named Nick Frost, great singer, great songwriter. And he's like, hey, listen, they're looking for a music director. And so I threw your name in. I think you'd be great for it. And I was just like, you got the wrong person, man. I can't read music. I don't know anything about music. If I can't, whatever. And out of some weird, I don't know, I said, okay, fuck it, I'll try it. And so basically what we do is we get like per show, we try to get like around 40 celebrities, rock stars, musicians, a couple actors, a couple comedians, and we put together super groups and we do covers of either 80s or 90s songs. And what we try to do is try to get all these people that would never in their life get a chance to play together and do like 2 or 3 songs, and we donate the proceeds to. We've been donating the proceeds to suicide prevention and mental health.
Nice.
So so like the first show that I was the MD for, we had, God, was it Hasselhoff was the first one? I think we had Hasselhoff headline, I think. But we had like Scotty Ann from Anthrax and John Five and me and Charlie Benatti did Beat It by Michael Jackson. And then we had Jared from, what's his band called? Bowling for Soup. And Frank
Jared
Zuko.
Riddick.
Yeah.
Man, I want him on this show. I love that guy.
I'll hook you up. He's a fucking cool cat. But yeah, so I mean, it's really crazy. So like, we just put together these crazy super groups. So like Jesse Hughes from Eagles of Death Metal, and Adrian Young from No Doubt, and Stephen Bradley from No Doubt, and then Todd Foreman from Sublime, and Carmen Vandenberg from Jeff Beck's band. We did like Blue Jean, and we also did Sledgehammer. So it's just a rotating cast of people, and it goes like for 4 hours, and we raise money for charities. And dude, it's a party, and it's hilariously fun.
Dude, okay. When's y'all's next one?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure, but all 3 of you guys are coming.
Oh, absolutely, I'll be there.
I will be there, especially any 80s things. I'd be happy to play some guitar for you.
Well, here's the thing, man. Because I put together the house band, because we get a lot of just singers. So I always have to put together a house band. And so we have like a rotating cast of singers that come up and do shit too.
Righteous.
So.
Well, hey, man. I don't know much about the 90s, but 80s is.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, okay.
There was Blockbuster. There was Blockbuster, and
the 80s was just, play a ripping guitar solo over like 3 or 4 chords. The 90s just took the guitar solo out and just changed the guitar for a acoustic. It's like, there you go.
Man, that sounds awful.
I'm kidding.
Well, here's something fucked up about one of the shows we did. We did oh fuck. All right, so I've been trying to meet Tommy Lee forever.
Oh my god.
Because I play a little bit like him. I'm not him at all.
Of course.
But there's something about his swing. I think it's a Midwestern thing,
He does have a really great, unlike all the other 80s hair metal bands, he had a groove.
Yeah.
To him.
Got that swing. It's that dirty fucking swing.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
I don't remember where he's
Indiana?
from, but I know his dad was born in St. Paul. I'll never forget a show when he played at the XL Energy Center.
Uh-huh.
And he like kind of just sat down on the stage, like legs over the end of the stage, and he had a Wild jersey on. He's like, "What's up, fuckers, man? My dad was born here. This one's for you." And then he did like a Home Sweet Home, like on piano, and then they broke out into it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, he's dope, dude. I mean, I've always loved his drumming, but there's something, not to sound weird, but there's something extremely sexy about his drumming.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, it's that behind the beat, but
he's not flashy. Like he's not. He never does any fancy fills. He's just right in the pocket the whole time, and it's.
Love his drumming.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a smile too, or just going upside down and roller coaster drum sets, or
Yeah, you're right. There's nothing flashy about a drum set roller coaster.
Like,
No, but I mean
dude
like
that does
playing wise, there's nothing flashy. He's not sitting there doing these like crazy Neil Peart like triplet compound rhythms. He's just
literally
like,
the
that's
dude
it.
that plays that wedding gig. The dude that plays that wedding gig is more flashy than he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
it's just
YouTube video, like,
does it. There's a swing to it. I don't
but
know.
he just kind of does with a smile on his face, and then he's got his little microphone in front of his face, and
The Britney Spears mic.
or the
it shouldn't be the Tommy Lee mic since it was Britney Spears that came after Tommy.
It would be the Madonna mic because
Okay, I was being funny, guys.
Yeah,
Golly.
Jeez.
But I will. As soon as y'all say Tommy Lee, I always think of the intro to Dr. Feelgood, and it just gets me going. You're right. He's got a groove.
Yeah.
And actually, the end of Dr. Feelgroove,
Dr. Feelgroove?
Hey, that's a good name.
When he gets to the 4 on the floor at the end,
Yeah.
when he's going, oh fuck up, that's funky as fuck.
I still love All in the Name of Rock, one of my favorite like little intros. Just so that song gets me going every time. And then Mick Mars' guitar comes in and.
Yep.
You know, it's funny, like those two guys specifically, Tommy Lee and Mick Mars, they're just completely underrated players of their instruments. Like, I don't hear people always constantly talk about like, oh man, I love Tommy Lee, like as he's like one of my favorite drummers. It's always one of those where you're having a conversation and you're like, oh, you're right, man, Tommy Lee's fucking great. Like, shit, now that I think about it.
Dude, he's dope, dude. And it's that, maybe it's the subtleness of his playing that's so dope.
Yeah.
I mean, because, if you think about it, Bonham had that same swing too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But Bonham had a little bit of flashy with his flutter kicks and stuff like, but Tommy, there's something that there's a beauty in his simplicity.
Yeah.
You know
it's I think for me, like, I knew of Motley Crue when I was in high school. Like, my mom that was when she really started to introduce me to a whole slew of new music, was like my 8th grade and freshman year. Right. And so she showed me Van Halen and Bon Jovi and Journey and all of this stuff, which got me to go look into all these other bands around the same time. And that's how I discovered Motley Crue. And I never really put 2 and 2 together because around the same time, Tommy Lee had released his album Tommyland.
Which I'm not mad at. I actually like that record.
I think the single off of that record is fantastic. Oh, but I think it...
yeah.
Yeah. But I think that, like, that was... So I was simultaneously introduced to Tommy Lee as a teenager into his early 20s, and then Tommy Lee, like, in his, late 30s, early 40s, releasing Tommyland. And so it's like I had this simultaneous thing, and I think it makes that's what made me love him even more as a musician, was because even his pop music's not flashy. Like, it's like him and Butch Walker did that single, and Butch is my idol, like, just flat out my idol. And so it's like, but it was just so simple. There was nothing new about the song. It didn't break any barriers. It just took what was already done and did it really well. Yep. And
that's what's missing in music, to be honest.
Oh my God.
It is missing.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
But yeah, so like that, I think that's what made me realize that, Tommy Lee is this guy I'm also wondering just if Tommy Lee was someone who he just realized real quickly, he's like, wow, I am not a Neil Peart. I am not a John Bonham. I can do this, and I'm going to do this really fucking well. And I can look like this, and I can party like that, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And and the thing, if you think about it, for what Motley Crue was, especially like the Dr. Feelgood record,
yeah,
it needed that because it was in that time frame where it's like, okay, you had your rock stuff, and people are starting to dance again, kind of at the same time. I mean, dude, Dr. Feelgood and Girls, 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 those are fucking slamming fucking songs, dude. Those are fucking slamming. Dude, even like Wild Side, fucking get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I mean, those are slamming fucking songs, and his drum sound. Oh, God.
I mean, Kickstart My Heart is still one of my favorites. And actually,
I like that song. The timing on the breakdown, I still haven't quite figured out.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's overdubbed. I think it's like an edit that they kind of like forcefully made. It's nowhere near as bad, but the song by Ram Jam, Black Betty, like if you listen to that song, it is very clear that they just cut the song. Like right there, just were like, okay, we're gonna put these two sections together. Like it just goes from the chorus like right back into the bump, bump, bump in the intro, and it just feels so weird.
Okay, so fucking Tommy Lee showed up at a fucking Strange 80s show because we hired his now wife as one of our hosts, right?
Okay.
Brittany Owen. And so...
Wait, who's his wife now?
Brittany Ferland.
Okay.
Yeah, she's kind of like a TikTok or web kind of celebrity. She's
Okay,
really
right on.
sweet. She's funny. But so at the Fonda Theater where we do our shows, there's like 5 green rooms or dressing rooms downstairs, and then there's like a common area, and it's just packed. I mean, it probably can hold 50 people, but there's usually like 150 people jammed down there. And it's always, all the people that are performing, and then whoever they bring with them, and then a couple of people sneak in and all that shit. And I saw him because he's a lot taller than I thought he was going to be. Right? And I made a beeline for him. I had to meet him. I'm like, listen, I'm in the same room with this fucking dude. I have to meet this fucking guy. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how I'm going to do it. If I have to take my panties off and throw them, whatever. So his girlfriend is doing like a Instagram live thing, right? And he's sitting next to her. And so I go around the wall and I come over and stand next to him. I'm like, hey, I'm Dan. I'm the MD for the show. He's like, what? I'm like, I'm Dan for the MD for the show. And he's like, huh? He can't hear well, right? So, but we start talking, right? And then my phone starts going off. And his friends of mine from Minneapolis, they're like, dude, you're talking to Tommy Lee. I'm like, how do you know? I'm like, well, I'm watching his girlfriend's Instagram. I'm like, okay. So we ended up talking. He was coolest, nicest fucking dude, man. He's so nice. And the very first song of the night was a Motley Crue song, right? And I was playing bass, and I just remember playing, what song was it? What song was it? Damn it. Shit. Give me a sec. I'll think about it. But I was playing bass, and I just remember looking off to the side of the stage, and he's like standing there watching me play one of his songs. He goes, I'm like, fuck yeah. And that, honestly, that was one of the coolest moments of my life.
That's awesome.
I was kind of sitting there thinking you were gonna take it and be like, I started playing the bass, and then all of a sudden these drums just come in, and I'm just like, oh shit.
I was hoping that was gonna happen, but
that kind of happened. Do you know a drummer by the name of Chris Layton?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was Stevie Ray's drummer, and I just remember in high school one time we used to do these. My high school marching band would do a fundraiser called Blastathon, and so we would go and play for like 5 hours or something and raise a whole bunch of money. And I just remember we were playing like pep rally songs for a second, like Hey Baby and Land of a Thousand Dances, I believe. And I can't remember what song he set down, but I was playing the drum set, and he just comes and taps me on the shoulder, and he's just like, I'm like, okay, great. And I knew exactly who he was, and I'm like, please, like, take these drumsticks. And he sits down, and he starts playing, like, just like right when my band director like clicks the song off, he's looking over at the other way, and Chris just comes in with the drums, and my band director's head whips around in just fury, because he had always told me, he's like, don't play over everything. He's like, he's like, you're there, but I want you there to just kind of keep the drum line in check. Right. And Chris just starts playing, and he whips his head around, and he immediately sees who it is, and he just goes, follow him, just go with that guy. And it just cracks me up, because Zach can vouch. He knew Mr. Vice, and it's like my band director had a way of doing things, and if you didn't do it the way that he wanted it done, he was gonna be pissed about it. So that was
there's some cats, man. There's a bar, this little teeny tiny bar out here called the Maui Sugar Mill. There's no stage. It's like where you perform is like literally 5 feet. Wow. And I went there, and there was like a couple guys from Jimmy Kimmel's band playing, and I'm trying to remember who was drumming. But he was a famous drummer, whatever. And fucking Vinny Colaiuta came in.
Oh, shit.
And they were like, hey, we'll have our friend Vinny come up and play. He was playing the same drum set, using the same sticks.
Yeah.
Same everything, and it sounded like a completely different fucking form. I mean, I was like, wow, that's why those guys are fucking legends, man.
Oh yeah, Vinny is one of the few people who, like, if I was playing and he sat in, I would literally just look at the band director and be like, I'm good. I'm not getting back up after that.
I'm gonna go make a grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm gonna go make a grilled cheese. Just gonna sit this one out. Yeah, man.
It's there's a guy. His name is Mike Scott. He's a guitar player. He plays with Justin Timberlake. And this dude told me one day, and he's an old friend of mine. I've known him since forever. And I asked him for guitar lessons one time. He's like, "You don't want guitar lessons from me?" I'm like, "Why?" It's like, "Listen, how do you put it?" He said, "There's always going to be somebody that can do something that you can't do. But at the same time, remember, there's always some people that can't do what you do. So just do you."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, that's deep. Now give me some fucking lessons.
How long has he been with JT?
He's been with him for a while.
That's one of the tightest bands I've ever seen.
Yeah. He goes by Reverend Mike. He was in Prince's band too for a while.
Does he have long hair and he wears it in like a little bun?
Kind of dreads a little bit.
Okay.
He usually plays like either a PRS or a 335 kind of looking guitar.
Right on.
Yeah, kind of round face. Yeah, Mike Scott. He's one of the best guitar players around because he's funky as fuck. He can shred like nobody's business.
I'd imagine you have to play with JT.
Dude, you know what? I did everything I could. I did literally everything. I didn't want to like JT. I didn't want to. I'm a fucking dick. Let's be honest.
No.
I just didn't want to like him. But everything he did, I'm like, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then and then people like that I know started playing for him, and I'm like, dude, he's fucking the coolest dude. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. It's like this whole Sam Jackson thing. I don't want Sam Jackson to be a nice guy. I want him to be an asshole. Just the way my brain is wired. But I ended up going to JT's last show of his what was it, the Nashville? What are they called? What was his band called? The Nashville, whatever they're called.
The something band, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So I went to their last show at the MGM in Vegas, and I sat there with my fucking mouth open the whole fucking time. It's like, God damn it, I get it. And I mean, it's not that I disliked his stuff. I'm weird.
No, I saw him in Phoenix years back, and like I was like, well, I didn't pay for this, so I'll give it a whirl. And then I was like, holy shit! Like you just control the crowd, the whole works, and and it was just cool. Like you couldn't dog it. Like
you can't not. All right, so now I have a question for all of you guys. Since we're talking about concerts and shit. What was your first concert?
Billy Joel, Elton John.
Really? That's a good one. What year?
Hey Mom, you're in the chat. What year? What year did we go see that? It was my 7th grade year because I'll never forget. She pulled me out of school to go see the show, and we drove down to San Antonio, saw it. I got a shirt. Came back, and I got made fun of for wearing the shirt because Elton John was gay. They kept making fun of. They were like, "Do you know Elton John's gay?" And I was like, I kept going, "No, he's not," because I didn't know anything really about him.
He's English.
Yeah, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" Blah blah blah. And I'll never forget that. And it was just a weird like thing. And then it was that way for like a day, and then no one mentioned. I've worn I wore the shirt, again, and no one said anything. So it was like, all right. But yeah, that was my first concert. I love that.
Right on.
Big Billy Joel fan.
I like Billy. I like Billy Joel too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a huge Billy Joel fan.
There was one weekend I saw him, I think Florida Georgia Line and Nelly, the weirdest like combo ever, and the Backstreet Boys. I'm not kidding. And on top of that, finish off with Jimmy Buffett and the Eagles, or Guns N' Roses, one of the two. I can't remember which year that was, but it was like a trifecta: Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
What kind of? Wow,
impressive.
Yeah.
So,
but first concert.
Yeah.
So, I think, I don't remember it, but I think it was Alabama when I was little, like really little.
Right.
The first one I can actually recall, as embarrassing or as cool as it sounds, was NSYNC.
Hey. I like them.
JT, and then I wore that shirt to school the next day. Like,
Not mad at you.
I started young. Like I was like 9 years old. Like, hey, what's up? I got an NSYNC shirt on. Didn't even care. With the sleeves on, though, unfortunately.
I'm gonna send you guys a video of me and Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's me, him, Jennifer from Michael Jackson's band, Joey from Johnny Depp's old band, Derek from Ministry, and Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell.
No way.
Wow.
I met him. Okay, sorry.
Dude. Yeah.
Quick story.
Don't avoid your concert though.
So I was playing Whiskey A Go Go with Dario Lorena from Black Label Society
Okay.
a couple years back, and we were up in the green room. Have you ever played Whiskey?
God, I hate that place.
I love it. It was the greatest thing ever. But I'm also an '80s freak.
I used to play there with Dweezil back in the day.
Wait, Dweezil Zappa?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. Back in the day.
I don't think there's any other Dweezil, by the way.
Right, I know, but I was just like, it's one of those where I'm like, we've been talking about like pop bands, and then to just like, because like the coolest, weirdest show that I ever saw was Dweezil Zappa open for Chick Corea's Return to Forever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a fascinating fucking show. And it was like all the original members of Return to Forever except for the guitar player. The guitar player, I believe, was a later addition. He joined them later, but so it was Lenny White and Stanley Clark, Chick Corea. Yeah.
We'll
get into Chick Corea later. Okay.
Anyway,
right,
Zach, sorry to interrupt your story.
No, you're fine. So I'm playing there. Well, I'm just gonna find the.
There's a picture. You're gonna send us the video with Chris Kirkpatrick. We're gonna send you a picture of Zach photo bombing Joey Fatone, or is it Joey Fatone photo bombing you?
No, I was definitely photo bombing.
Wait, who's in Nashville?
No one is.
Okay, all right. So Chris lives in fucking Nashville.
Really?
Yeah. And Chris Kirkpatrick is fucking hilarious, dude.
I've always wondered what happened to him because he's the member that's just kind of literally just vanished. Him and JC, like, just gone off the face of the earth.
You know, he's the one that started the band.
Huh.
And so, but he's such a funny dude, man. He's a cool cat. He's really into music, like music. And
well, yeah, that band could sing. Unlike the Backstreet Boys, they could sing. Yeah, that's right. Shots fired, people.
Okay, well, the Backstreet Boys are never going to be
what is that? What was that now?
Can you see that?
It's
somewhat.
Yeah, that's Dennis. That's Mr. Belden. Yeah, Mr.
Yeah. So he showed up, and I had to give him a Zack Attack pick. So that's my Mr. Belding story. He loved it anyway.
Okay, when you guys are coming out here to visit, okay?
Of course, brother.
Absolutely.
There is a bar down the street called the Foxfire, and it is literally the most fucked up bar you'll ever go to. And the reason I say that is because it's very old school, early 80s, late 70s. You got the red squishy cushion booths and shit. It's dark. It's a dive bar. I mean,
which are the best bars.
Yeah.
The best bars.
No one goes to the front door. Everybody goes to the back door. The first time I ever went there, and this is a true fucking story. First time I ever went there, there's a deli next door, and I just moved to the neighborhood. I'm like, hey, is there a bar around here? I need to get a beer. I was like, what are you, stupid? I'm like, well, there's a bar next door. I'm like, okay. He goes, but you have to go around the back. So we're in the back, walk in, it's all dark, and fucking Tom Green is in there, right?
Wow.
Now, here's the people that I've met in this fucking bar, and it's, dude, you go to this bar, and it's so fucking real. I've met fucking Will Ferrell there, Javier from fucking Animals as Leader.
Oh, wow.
Animals Leader, Chino from Deftones, multiple guys from the Foo Fighters, January Jones, Natalie Portman, Dave Kettner, who else fucking hangs out there? Dude, I mean, it's just this weird Taylor Dane. Remember her from the 80s?
Oh, my God.
Yep,
that's a name drop. That's a name drop.
Yeah, and so this bar is this bar that's like in this little weird strip mall, but it's been there forever. So everybody that lives in this area, they go there, and they don't get hassled. And it's the most fucked up thing. So I was going there on a regular basis. That's when they started making my fucking pint glasses, right?
The DK, correct?
The DK. And so I was hanging out with this dude named Dennis every time he'd come in. He never drank. He'd always play like the video arcade thing. And so my sister came to visit, and I took her there, and I'm like, hey, Dina, this is my friend Dennis. Dennis is my sister Dina. And she goes, oh my God, you're Mr. Belding. I'm like, oh, fuck, you're not Mr. Belding. And we'd been friends for like a year prior to that.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, you've been in LA for a long time now. Do you happen to know a gentleman by the name of Kirk Covington?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so he's a drummer out. He splits his time between here. I work for him here. I engineer his. He has a little home studio, but I engineer for him. But he splits his time between here and LA, and he's spent a lot of time out in LA, like 30 plus years out in LA. But he plays for a group called Tribal Tech.
Oh, I remember Tribal Tech.
Yeah. So I was just curious if you knew him.
I don't think I want to. Those guys aren't from this planet.
Oh, well, yeah, Kirk is definitely not from this planet. I hope to have him on the podcast one day, and it's just gonna kind of be, all right, guys, strap in, because this guy he's 62, and he is a wild man. Like, he has just got energy for years, just stored away in his pockets, and he's a mile a minute. But yeah, he's been around the LA scene for so long. I'm just curious if you happen to know him, because I can tell you guys probably know a lot of the same people.
I mean, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately. I mean, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm in my twilight years. So,
29 forever, as we say, always.
Really?
You can be the 29 forever club.
God, I would love to be 29 again.
Yeah.
Wait, TJ, you never said what was your first concert?
Yeah,
well, I
did.
Sync.
Zach didn't say his first concert.
Yeah. Zach hasn't done it, but yeah.
Oh, I don't know what my first concert was. I grew up in recording studios and nightclubs, so I don't remember.
What's the first? What's the like just a concert? Because okay, so I will throw this caveat. Both my parents are musicians, so I grew up going to shows when I was like a baby,
Right.
and ever since then. But the first concert that I truly remember, like, we got tickets to go to the concert, was Billy Joel and Elton John. So, Zach, do you have a moment like that where, like, there's a...
I have no idea, my man. I can't think of anything.
Just pick one. Just pick something.
Oh Lord.
Anything, something. Come on.
I mean, I think I saw the Nashville Philharmonic Orchestra in the park in Nashville when I was like 5 or 6. That's all I remember.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
cool.
there you go. That's
Sorry,
a
I
concert.
know it's lame. I wish I could say something like,
Dude,
my first concert
mine's-
was Firehouse, but
Oh, that'd be fun.
It's not like you're gonna say your first concert was the Wiggles, or like
it most
or like
certainly was
Barney
not.
on Ice.
I mean, that's not bad either. That's just your little
Yeah.
kid. But Robin's like, oh, my first concert was Billy Joel and Elton John.
Well, okay, I'll tell you guys mine. But I'm in the same situation as Zach, because my parents used to own a nightclub in Chicago called the East, right? And it
I
was
did not know that.
it was a hub for traveling R&B bands.
Okay.
So I got my first ever guitar cable from this guy named Freddie Fender, but I didn't even play guitar at the point, right? This is a red curly, but the fucking crazy thing about it is I saw like Kool and the Gang back when they were like the Muslim Kool and the Gang, fucking the Bar-Kays back in the day.
Good
But-
Lord.
Yeah, but the returning band that always played there, because they used to rehearse there for free, but my parents would make them perform once a month, was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Holy.
So I used to see Earth, Wind, and Fire once a month, and not only did I see Earth, Wind, and Fire once a month, my sister and my brother and I would actually open up for him playing bongos and shit, right? And then my sister and I would do our homework on stage while they were playing. Now, I'll get back to that in a second. So, with Earth, Wind, and Fire being our house band, they were like, hey, Maurice, hi. I didn't think anything of it, right?
Yeah.
The first concert that I went to was a band called The Silvers, was the opening act. They had Boogie Fever.
Oh.
Remember them?
Oh my God.
I did an elementary play, and that was the song we came in on. Was Boogie Fever. That's awesome.
They were the opening act. Jackson 5 was the headliners.
Stop.
I saw the Jackson. That was my first concert.
Did you meet them?
No.
Oh my god.
But they weren't big at that point, I take it.
It was like 70 something. Yeah, they were huge.
Yeah.
Oh shucks.
So you saw like baby Michael Jackson.
Lil Michael. Michael, when he used to get beat up by his dad and shit.
Oh my god.
Ooh, oh, is that too soon?
So pre-nose job.
Yeah, this was so let's see. I was born in 68. So let's
one
see.
year from greatness.
Probably 5 or 6, so 68, 70. It's probably like 73, 74-ish.
Okay.
Somewhere there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you and him are actually you guys were about the same age.
Easy. He's older.
Okay. Well, how much older?
Come on, Robin.
Yeah, geez, Robin.
I don't know what the year
Daniel's
Michael
gonna
Jackson was
leave.
born,
Do your research.
but apparently, according to the comments, Megan Fox was born in 1985.
That's
Dude,
wonderful.
Oh, that makes it even better. So, I don't know if we've told you this, but Robin screwed up one day on the podcast.
Oh,
We did
so-
a Van Halen.
On the Eddie Van
I'm
Halen
telling
tribute.
this story. I'm telling this story. Van Halen tribute episode. We like
The day he died.
threw everything aside and said, "We're doing this. This is our topic. We're gonna talk Van Halen the whole time." And Robin's trying to name albums. He goes, "And it was at 1985." And everyone knows it's 1984. So that Megan Fox is born in 85 just makes this so much better.
One of the
That
many things in life I will
1985
never live
album is
down.
great.
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, speaking of great albums, man, I've heard snippets. He's only released 2 songs, but Wolfgang's record.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Do you know Frank Sidoris?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so he plays in Slash's band. He's a buddy of mine from Vegas, and he plays in Wolfgang's band.
Oh, dude.
So is Wolfgang playing bass or guitar in this band, or is he just singing?
He's playing guitar and singing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on the record, he did everything.
Oh god, that just
Yeah,
makes me hate him even more.
that
See,
that first song was a tearjerker though. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
He should have played at the Grammys. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, and that's
But
why
you know what?
he declined
He
apparently.
didn't want to.
Yep.
Because he's like, yeah, I can't do it as well as my dad would have done it, and it would have been stupid. And I totally understand that.
yeah,
He's cool. He's a fucking cool ass dude, man. He's a fucking cool dude. And okay, so Distance was released, and then You're the Blame. Let me tell you a little something about this fucking dude, man. This cat is no fucking joke. This cat is one of the dopest drummers you will ever fucking hear.
Wolfgang?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know he drummed.
yeah.
Dude, he's insane. Dude,
Wow.
this whole record of his, he produced it, he engineered it, played every fucking instrument, wrote everything all on his own. And I've heard snippets. Dude, he's no fucking joke. He hasn't even released the good shit yet. You're gonna be like, what the fuck is going on?
Is he? Are
Because
we thinking he's gonna save rock and roll? I don't want to put that much pressure on someone, but like,
I hope so. And I feel sorry for him because, like, I met him twice, and we'll send some stuff back and forth on Instagram and shit. And I'm like, listen, don't worry about these fucking people because your name is Van Halen, so they're gonna be up your ass anyway. Like, oh, your record doesn't sound like Van Halen. Well, you're not Van Halen. You're a Van Halen, right?
Yeah.
I go, but the cool thing about him is he does have extremely tough skin, right? But people don't understand how talented that cat is. He's fucking amazing. And I get that, like, if you're around that situation, if your dad is Eddie Van fucking Halen,
Yeah,
so
where do you go from there?
yeah, so you're gonna have access to hone your craft. No one thought that he was gonna hone his craft the way he honed it, because, dude, honestly, I love Alex Van Halen's drumming, especially his cymbal work.
Yeah.
Like his bell and stuff. I think Wolfgang I'll play him. And not only can he maybe outplay his uncle, he can hold his own on guitar with his dad. I mean, he's that good.
Wow.
yeah.
And-
What was the story that what was there was some story of like the first time that he ever like played with the band, and like he was playing bass and singing, and I think it was from Alex's perspective. He was the one telling the story, and then they're playing, and I think this was right around the time of David Lee Roth rejoining or something, and so it's David singing and all of them, and they're in the rehearsal space, and he can't see who's on bass, and he just hears the harmony and hears the bass playing, and they stop, and after the song he's like, "Fuck, man, who's over there? Who's playing? Who's singing?" And he just hears this, "Hi, Uncle Al," and it's just like, what?
Listen,
So
I think Wolfgang is going to surprise. There's gonna be your haters because
Haters gonna hate.
But listen, as a musician or whatever, I think a lot of people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Because he hasn't even released the fucking killer shit yet. Fucking Wolfgang Van Halen is no joke, dude. He's the real fucking deal, and it doesn't even phase him. It doesn't. It doesn't phase him. It's like walking down the street to him, and he's a motherfucker of a musician. And I think once he starts showing this shit, people are like, "Oh god damn."
yeah.
And I would bet I don't have a fucking reputation, but what do I have around here? Steve. I got a goldfish named Steve. Steve. Yeah, Wolfgang Van Halen is no joke. So just watch how it unfolds, because he's really meticulous about releasing these songs and stuff. Dude, he's going to surprise everybody. And the thing is, he's being a young cat, and he grew up with his dad's music, and I get that. And so you know who Clint Lowry is from Seven Dust?
Yeah, I know Seven Dust.
Okay, so Seven Dust is a machine in itself. I love Seven Dust, but Clint Lowry is like the brains and the heart behind it. So if you want to find out everything about Seven Dust, you listen to Clint Lowry's solo stuff, and it will literally make a grown macho dude fucking cry. He's that good. His songwriting's that great. He's that talented. Wolfgang produced one of his fucking records when he was a tween.
Did not know that.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
This is where we need that logo. The
Yeah.
more you know.
And Clint has been doing his own shit since he's been in Seven Dust. And fucking Wolfgang produced one of his fucking records. So keep an eye for it. Do what, and it's funny to watch the shit that happens to Wolfgang. "Oh, you look just like your mom and your dad." He's like, "Oh yeah, because they're my mom and my dad."
No shit,
You don't
Sherlock.
say.
Yeah. And so like the stuff that happens to him, like, "Oh, your record doesn't sound like Van Halen." He's like, "Well, I'm not Van Halen. I'm a Van Halen."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
I'm
can't
excited for it.
imagine.
Yeah. It's got to be tough.
Yeah.
Like he's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal musician, and I wish him nothing but. I wish him more of "I told you so" than success.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because dude, if you go to his Instagram, people are just fucking just bashing him to death. It's horrible, and there's nothing in his resume that says, "Yeah, you have to carry the torch for the band Van Halen." That's just your fucking name, and people are literally fucking calling him shitty and all that. I'm like, dude, but he's got tough skin, and he's been going through it, and he's like, cool. And his girlfriend's beautiful, and his mom loves him, and he loves his mom, and he's writing the music that he likes to write and wants to write, and just by a weird fluke, he's fucking good at it.
Yeah.
And I think I wish him nothing but, from the bottom of my heart as a musician, I wish him nothing but success, honestly.
Well, I think that's all we can do. And I think that's our job is to wish those people and like, support those people into success. Like it's our job as a music community. Like,
yeah,
I can't. That one of the things, because I lived in LA for all of like 5 months. That's about as long as I could survive out there. I ran through my money. I got to make a very, very cool EP with a band out there, and I have that on my on my resume, and it was a lot of fun. You know, I learned a lot. But the thing that just drove me nuts was there's like this weird competitiveness out there in the younger generation. All of the older cats that I've met who have been there for a little bit and they know each other, it's like just camaraderie. You know, you're like, hey, you need a guitar player? Yeah, I can't do this gig, but I know this guy that can do it, and he's fucking great.
Yep.
And, you know, but my generation was like, oh, you're a bass player? Oh, you're on my shit list now. Okay, I'm a bass player too. Yeah, I got to make sure I'm better than you. And I'm just like, really? Do we have to do that? Like,
the younger generation out here, they just try to outdress each other.
That was the other thing. I don't dress very well, as you can see. Black, just simple black V-neck. So
it looks like it's inside out, but it's not. Well, dude, listen, I'm an older dude, man. I'm fucking old. You know, I mean, so for me even to compete with this shit, I mean, I know that I have to fucking get Just for Man and get rid of the gray if I'm gonna go fucking do a show with fucking a 19-year-old. Like, who's grandpa playing fucking bass or guitar? I'm like, oh, that's just Uncle Dan.
Yeah,
you know?
I had somebody tell me that once. You know, because like the guys that I get to play in my band are some of the best in Austin. Mm-hmm. And I do that on purpose because I like to be the worst member of the band because it makes me play better.
Yeah, usually.
And I'm so, but you know, consequently, a lot of the guys in my band are they're older, and right. My mom also plays in my band too. So she's the one. She brings the talent and the looks to the band. The rest of us just kind of hang on.
That's for dang sure.
What's that?
That's for dang sure. She brings the looks to the band. Robin's, I don't know what he brings, but
I don't bring much. But,
hi, Robin's mom. Good to see you.
But I had you know, I had somebody.
I'm still listening. I just gotta get some ice. Keep talking. I'm still listening.
But I had somebody tell me it's like, hey man, you really should get a younger looking band. I think you'd get farther with a younger looking band. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, okay, what do I want? Do I want young and good looking, or do I want talented? Like, you either get young and talented, or good looking and talented, or young and good looking. Like, I rarely have found a whole band of all three of those. You know, and I'd much rather go for talent. I'd much rather go for quality over quantity.
I'd rather have a band that everybody looks like Geldof or Gandalf.
Yeah.
Just fucking tear it up versus some pretty fucking 13-year-old boy that looks like a 12-year-old girl. I ain't into that.
Side note, this is the first time in our podcast history where someone has wheeled themselves over to the fridge or freezer and gotten ice, and this is the greatest thing ever.
Thank you. I smell bratwurst.
Smells like what?
Bratwurst.
Well, that's interesting.
I bet put some whiskey in there.
Compliment a Bloody Mary right there.
Yeah, well, you know. Wait, how much time do we got left? Because I'm on fire now.
Well, y'all have already rudely interrupted me on all my questions, so when y'all are done, I've got my questions.
That's not true. I've gotten like one question off, and then I've just tried to get it load. I got. Let's see where this one takes us real quick. How about this? Because I really got to pee, so I'm gonna do this and like announce it on air as opposed to last time where I just turned off my camera and left.
I have to go pee too.
Like, okay. Anyways, I want to hear this, but and you don't have to talk about it, Daniel. But I heard a rumor you were doing the Rockstar In Excess thing once upon a time.
Who told you that?
I don't know.
It's on the web. It is on the interwebs. I believe it's actually on your website.
Because I remember Rockstar Supernova, and I remember I don't know if it was Fox or whatever, like being a little kid and being like, don't know what this is, whatever. And then I remember hearing In Excess, and then like, you know, after the fact, you go back, I was like, oh, that's right, they did a thing for In Excess to try and get a new singer.
Yep, that was the first. You know, that was actually the first vocal competition, like TV vocal competition. This is before American Idol and all that shit.
And they did like Supernova with Tommy Lee after.
Yep, that was the second one. Yeah, and Gilby Clarke.
Yep,
fucking Gilby, dude. God damn it, I love that dude. I can't hang out at Gilby's studio for very long because when he's mixing, dude, he mixes so fucking loud, dude. And I love loud music, but it's like, I mean, he cooks it, dude. So there's a band called Hillbilly Harold that I worked on, and he produced it, and he had me come over and do some backup vocals and stuff. And dude, he records loud. I don't think anybody records as loud as he does. You can hear it like 3 miles away. It's insane. But anyway, um, so Rockstar in Excess. I was working at what do you call it? I was a loan officer. I was selling mortgages, right?
Like at a bank or credit union?
At a private company called Enzo Mortgage.
Okay.
They're out of business now. A lot of people from Enzo went to jail. But anyway.
They hired a bunch of rock stars and then they just went.
No, no. But,
you get a loan. You get a loan.
Everybody gets a loan. It's like the Oprah fucking loan officers. You get a loan. You get a loan. Go to jail. No, but the owner, Michael, who was he actually used to be a musician, and he was in a band with his brother, and they got signed at the same time Guns N' Roses got signed, but they weren't a Guns N' Roses type band, but they were on the same circuit. And so Michael's brother was a guitar player. Michael was the singer. No, I'm sorry. Michael was the guitar player. His brother was the singer. And apparently in a show, because they used to fight, they grew up together, brothers. And apparently during a show, his brother stabbed him in the ass with a knife, stabbed him. Because
not even a backstabbing, an ass stab.
Yeah. And
you ass stabber.
Yeah, and I go, dude, what did you do? He goes, well, I finished my guitar solo, finished the night, and then I quit the band, and I started a mortgage company. So I ended up working for Michael. And he came into my office one day, and I was looking at porn, I'm pretty sure, because that's all I did. I didn't know anything about anything. And he goes, are you going to go to the NXS audition? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, well, NXS is looking for a new lead singer, and they're having auditions at First Ave. I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that, dude. I love NXS. I mean, my high school band used to play NXS songs. And this is what he said to me, and I hope he's watching this, because I still love Mike. He goes, if you don't go to this audition, you're fired. And I go, well, you can't make me go to an audition, dude. You can't fire me for that. He goes, it's a small company. I can fire you for that. I'm like, you're full of shit. You can't. He goes, I can. I go, are you serious? He's like, yeah. Right? So, I'm like, whatever. I'll just go down there. I'll audition, tank it, get the fuck out of there, right? So I met a friend of mine for a couple of drinks, who I'm still friends with, JC. And I went down there, and there was a fucking line out the door, down the street, around the corner. And you know how First Ave is, across from Target Center, right? Yep. Dude, it went down the fucking street. And everybody had a guitar with them, or they had a CD, the company, or whatever. And so finally my time gets up there, and there's like 50 people on the floor, and like you get up on stage one at a time. And she's like, what are you going to sing? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, well, you don't. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I just came here so I don't get fired. I just need the paper that says I auditioned. She's like, well, since you're here, you should sing something. I'm like, all right, give me a topic. So she gave me a topic. Give me a name. Give me a place. And I just started singing. Right? I'm like, cool. Can I get my fucking thing that says I fucking auditioned? She's like, yeah. Can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we're outside talking, and I swear to God this happened. And she had the camera crew on me. She's like, listen, why are you here if you didn't want to audition? And I told her, I'm like, my boss wanted me to fucking do it, and he was going to fire me if I didn't. And right while she's interviewing me, a buddy of mine drives by and goes, Naked Dan. That's my nickname. Right? She's like, who the hell is Naked Dan? I'm like, I'm Naked Dan. She's like, listen, that was actually pretty cool what you did. I'm like, yeah, whatever. She goes, all right, have a good night. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went home. The next day, they're like, listen, we're going to fast track you to the finals. Can you bring some prepared stuff? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I learned Don't Change. Don't change. But I did it R&B style. So I had to go back to First Ave, and I did it R&B style on guitar. And they're like, we're going to send you to fucking Hollywood. I'm like, are you fucking nuts? So I had like 3 or 4 months to learn. They give you a list of songs to pick from. And you're supposed to pick 3 songs to learn. And my problem is, dude, I don't remember my own lyrics, let alone someone else's lyrics. And so I was struggling. I never worked in it because I love NXS, but I'm not the guy. I know that. And I fucking went down there and fucking, dude, they flew me to fucking LA. I ended up being like number 27 out of 277,000 people. Right? And so when I auditioned, because they put you up in this hotel, you're not supposed to talk to any of the other contestants. They give you a fucking 4-hour psychological test, make sure you're not suicidal or a drug addict and all that shit. And I met Ty Taylor. He was one of the black guy with the mohawk that was on the show. Mm-hmm. I met him in the elevator, and I'm like, dude, if this doesn't happen, I'm going to do something else. He's like, this doesn't define who the fuck you are. Just go and fucking do your thing. Like, and I still remember that, and we're still friends to this day. And so I went down. No, before I went down to audition, I got a phone call that a friend of mine had died on tour. Right? And they're like, hey, it's your turn to come down to sing. And it was like literally 15 minutes before I was supposed to go sing, so I wasn't into it. Went down, did my thing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Dave Navarro was there. I got to meet him and Burke, what's her name? The fucking host. And we sang, God, what did I sing? I can't remember the song to sing, but NXS was there. And so they're like, thank you. So I was walking out, and NXS stopped me like, so what do you play, guitar or bass? I'm like, both. They're like, well, we could tell. Like, how can you tell? Like, you don't know what to do with your hands. I'm like, yeah. They go, we loved your voice, but we need a guy that knows what to do with his hands. I'm like, I totally understand that. And that's why I didn't go any further, because I was like,
man, you and Ricky Bobby.
Right.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, I still got the certificate, and then I actually ran into Gary in Nashville. I want to like 6 years ago. He's like, I know you, right? I'm like, yeah, I tried out for your guys' band. It's like, that's right. Yeah, you fucking remember me. It was fucking funny.
So Gary lives in Nashville.
I don't know if he does or not. It was a weird night. There was a lot of people there. So like Ray Luzier was there. Fucking.
Oh,
Olsen.
good lord, I love that guy.
Yeah, he's great, right?
Yeah, man. Army of Anyone, underrated band.
Thank you very much. And these guys are like, who?
No, my focus is on my pee that I was going to take a long time ago, but I could not hear the NXS story. So now, whatever if you talk shit behind my back for the next 2 minutes, whatever.
Yeah, hey, do what you got to do. I'm gonna go after you get back. So, or we could just do this again next week.
Dude, Army of Anyone, fuck, dude. Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, look, man, fuck.
All right, let me write this down. What is it called?
It's called Army of Anyone, and it's the lead singer from Filter. It's the two brothers from Stone Temple Pilots, and it's Ray Luzier on drums. And Ray Luzier is now the drummer for Korn.
Yes, I know this.
But he's also got he's got
the drummer for David Lee Roth.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got an extensive career.
Yeah.
And I went to NAMM. The first time I ever went to NAMM, I had made some friends here during.
Was that with me?
No. I met the year we went was the second year I went. The year when I met up. The first year it was I went and my friend was like, "Hey, you need to come to NAMM," and I'm like, "I don't have a badge. Like, I don't work for a company. Like, I can't go." He's like, no, you need to come. He's like, I'll help you get there. I'll help you like get in. You just need to get there. And I was like, okay. So he ended up getting me a badge that said Humes and Berg on it. And so it's like with the drum case company. And right, yeah. I didn't realize that he actually like knew the guys. He knew Mike Berg. Oh, and wow. So like we're hanging out at the Humes and Berg thing, and it's like, here's Ray Luzier, here's Kenny Aronoff. It's just like, here's Rich Redmond, here's like all these like heavyweight drummers, people that I like grew up like, oh. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now. Like, do I shake your hand? Do I like bow to you? Like, what do I do here? And so yeah, that was the first time I met Ray. What?
Was that your only time going?
No, I've been several times since. And the second time I went with him, the third time I went again with the same group, but I was spending a lot more time with my boss Kirk because he was there because he's an Mapex artist. So he's with he's with Mapex, the design labs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So do you know Russ Miller? He plays with Andrea Botticelli, and he's played with Shaka Khan as well, and but he's like, I think he's the one of the head designers for Mapex Design Labs. Yeah, like he's one of the guys that like designed those really high end drums.
Right.
Super nice guy. Phenomenal drummer. But him and Kirk are real tight, and so I was spending a lot more time with Kirk and doing that kind of thing. That was one of my favorite bass players, Hendrik Linder from Dirty Loops.
Oh,
like
good.
he just walks up, and he's someone, like, if you look at him, you could spot him from anywhere in a room because he just has a look. And so, he's a lot shorter.
That cheap fucking gig bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a lot shorter than I thought he would be. But I'm sitting there just talking with Kirk, and Hendrik comes up because Kirk and him and Gary Willis had done a thing for it. Like, Hendrik won some award, and Gary was presenting it to him, and so they did a jam session there in, like, wherever they're from, over in Germany or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Or Austria. And, but they were playing, you know, he came up and just starts talking with Kirk, and it's just another moment of just like, what is happening?
I'm gonna tell you guys something, and I'm saying this right now, and this is being recorded, so I'm saying this. Whenever NAMM opens up again, you guys are coming with me.
Okay.
Because it's
Let's go.
stupid.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. It's dumb, dude. It's dumb. In a good way.
Oh, yeah.
You'll end up wearing a fur coat at one point for some reason. You may get accused of stealing something. Who knows? I mean, I have every year I'm like, I'm not gonna go to NAMM, and every year I go and it gets out of fucking line.
I will say the last time I went to NAMM, by the third day, I couldn't fucking walk. Like, my knees hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And it's,
I only do 2 days. And I'll go like an hour before the convention center closes one night, and then I'll do the convention the next day.
Okay.
Because what am I? Do I need to see a fucking harmonica made out of fucking plastic? No, I don't need to see it.
Yes, you do.
It's Steven Tyler's.
Okay, so that's
all right. You guys.
No.
You guys do
Robin's
your thing.
gotta
I gotta
tell the best story of the night while he's gone.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm just rambling on. How old are you guys, by the way?
Officially 31, but like I said, 29 Forever Club.
And how about you?
31.
I'm the oldest on the podcast, believe it or not.
No, you're not.
Well, besides.
Can I say I'm 29?
Yes, you can.
29 Forever Club.
Dude, I'm fucking 52. I'm gonna be 53 in fucking September.
Oh, you look good.
You look great, man.
And as I would say, age is just a number.
It is. It's a fucking big number. But no, I got a whole bunch of pictures I'm gonna send you guys. There's a picture that I found in my dad's funeral. My dad was a big civil rights leader back in Chicago back in the day. And so when I went to his funeral, there was like, thousands of photos of him. And there's a picture that I found of me and my brother at a birthday party, right? And I'm looking at the picture because I'm going to get a picture, a tattoo of my brother somewhere. We decided we're going to draw straws, and there's 6 of us kids. And so each of us drew straws, and so whoever we drew, we have to get their name or a picture of them. That's like a unity thing, whatever. And so I'm looking at this picture of my brother, and I realize I'm sitting next to R. Kelly as children.
That's cool. Right
I
on.
didn't. But when I told my mom about it, she's like, "Well, remember when you almost got your finger cut off?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "That was R. Kelly that did that." I'm like, "What?" I still have the scar. I don't know if you can see it. There's a scar between my 2 knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he dropped a microphone stand, one of Earth, Wind & Fire's microphone stands, on my finger and almost cut my finger off.
You just missed the R. Kelly story, Robin.
Yeah,
Oh,
Robin.
God.
R. Kelly cut his finger off, man.
Oh my God.
I know, dude. I know that this comes across as, yeah, this guy's just talking bullshit, dude. I've been through fucking literally everything. I've seen it all. I've met way too many people, and I've been involved in the most fucked up shit. But it makes for a good life, you know. I mean, if I ever have kids that I know of, I'll have stories for them.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I mean?
Experiences are everything.
It really
I
is.
should have taken my own Facebook advice because the other day it popped up in my memories. 12 years ago, I said I'm gonna start. TJ Bierke is gonna start writing down a diary every day and make one bitchin' memoir. Guess how many days I've written down stuff? Not many. It's all here.
You know, I have to start writing shit down because I'm almost AARP fucking status. I'm gonna start-
Wow.
Get that discount at Denny's.
Right? And dude, have you seen that movie I Care a Lot? Have you seen that yet?
Oh, the new one on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched it a couple nights ago. I'm fucking terrified now.
It's on the list, but yeah, it's like, oh Jesus,
Fucking scared.
with Peter Dinklage.
Okay.
You got a story. You got a Peter Dinklage story.
No, I've never met him. I
Oh.
love that guy, but in the movie, he's walking and he gets into an SUV, but he's on the sidewalk and he doesn't have to bend or anything to get in the fucking SUV. It's fucking hilarious. And that's what I got from the movie. Like, he didn't have to.
That's what you're terrified about?
And that's our IMDb detention review tonight.
There you go.
Can I do some shotgun questions?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh,
I like how I gave
Shot-
you permission.
shotgun meaning like I just some questions I wanted answered. You know, you don't have to give elaborate answers. I just some
Alright.
things and this is gonna be all over the place, by the way, because I didn't know how tonight was gonna go. So I want to start out with I know this is random because of how the night's gone, but I want to take it back to what are your current gigs right now? Like artists you're playing with, solo stuff.
Well, actually, I'm writing. Well, actually, I finished writing an EP for this singer out here named Winter. Music-wise, she's probably in the top 3 female vocalists out here.
Righteous.
She's super dope. And so that's what I've been. That's what I've been in the studio working on right now.
Righteous. Well, summer's coming around. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She's super cool. She's completely tatted up. She's a rocker chick, but she has this R&B vibe to her. But she's a powerhouse.
Righteous.
So we wrote this record basically about her last breakup. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Righteous.
Doing that and then playing drums for a band called American Mile. It started as a filling gig, but they haven't been looking for another drummer. So doing that, and then
Wait, what was that one called? I want to look at all this stuff.
American Mile.
Okay, right on.
And while we're on the topic, shout out to your What's Going On little jam session. With,
What?
That What's Going On jam session you did? Like quarantine?
The Marvin Gaye thing?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Was it same hat?
That was cool, man. And like that was at Jam Elker.
Yeah. No, Chicago.
Dude's got a voice, man.
Yeah, Chicago guy, yeah. Yeah, that was he sent me like the acoustic stuff. He's like, hey, can you put bass on this? And then the way I am, like, dude, we need the finger staffs and we put some keys and some, So, yeah, it was cool. He donated all that stuff to charity. Yeah, he's a good
Cool.
he's a recovering guy. So, you know, he does these kind of things to help or pay it forward and stuff.
Sweet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My quick shout out, Zach. Keep rapid firing whatever you got. I mean, we're gonna have to have Daniel on again.
Yeah, we're going to need to do another episode.
Like maybe 18 more episodes. You might be our entire podcast coming up.
I'm down.
Is it back to me?
Yes.
Okay, right on. I'm gonna skip this question because this is gonna be a whole nother podcast topic. And move on to this one. Who are your influences and/or favorite bands?
You know, someone asked me what my favorite band was about a month ago, and I literally had to think about it for a long time. I would say my favorite band is Earth, Wind & Fire.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right next to Earth, Wind, and Fire is Whitesnake and Van Halen tied together.
Really? That is some solid influence right there.
If anybody was to ever say, "Hey Dan, is there a gig?"
Right behind me, Whitesnake right there.
Whitesnake. Like, is there a band that if you could play in that band, what band would be it? Whitesnake, hands down. And my mom turned me on to Whitesnake, and then she took me to a Whitesnake concert. And now, keep in mind, my mom is like, how old is she now? 75. She took me to see Whitesnake and Queensrÿche together, and my stepdad looks like James Taylor, right? And my mom is literally singing every old Whitesnake, like prior to the big record.
Yeah.
So she's singing like all the Purple stuff and all that shit. And I'm like, I only know Whitesnake from Still.
You're just pretending to know what's going on.
And she's like rocking it, dude. Yeah. So she turned me on to Whitesnake like years, like when I was in high school. Then she took me to a concert. But yeah, Whitesnake has been like my rock band. And the thing is about Whitesnake is there's a blues aspect as far as guitars go, right? But the way David Coverdale puts his shit together is fucking phenomenal. So favorite band of all time, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Backup band, Whitesnake / Van Halen.
That's awesome.
I agree with all of those, my friend. Do you have any particular influences?
You say Ambrosia?
Like,
hell yeah.
I fucking love Ambrosia.
Do you have any
awesome. Sorry, Zach.
Oh no, it's all good. Like particular influences, like individuals that have influenced your playing.
You know, when I first started playing guitar, I was a huge Joe Satriani and Steve Vai fan, but I can't play like those guys. So I don't know if is it an influence if you can't do what they do or anywhere near what they do?
Of course.
Okay, so then yeah.
Right on.
I can't do what Vito Bratta does from White Lion, so.
Yeah. But I love what they do. The fucking Crossroads, fucking.
Oh, with Ralph Macchio.
Oh, fuck! Kidding me?
Oh, Steve Vai just posted that. Steve Vai just posted about that yesterday, I believe.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
I could watch that every day for the rest of my life.
All right.
Now, I don't know any of this.
Well, who knew Ralph Macchio could outplay Steve Vai?
And do karate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
that's
unreal. That's my question. Is that Ralph Macchio or is that a hand double? I'm assuming it's a hand double.
No, it's him doubling Ry Cooder's shit.
Yeah, I think because I knew Ry did the soundtrack for that movie, but I was wondering if Ry actually did that work. Who, by the way, if you haven't listened to Ry Cooder, one of the best slide players.
He's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's Ralph Macchio faking it, to be honest with you.
That's what I was thinking. He did a damn good job at faking it.
He did. You know, I mean, it was a lot of that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what a dude. You know, I'm not a big fan of remakes of movies, but if they remade that movie, I wouldn't be upset about it.
Who do you get?
Yeah, who do you get to who? Okay, so in that scene, who would play who? Who would play the Steve Vai character? Would it be Steve Vai at this age? Now?
I would have Eric Gale play the Steve Vai character.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that fucking dude.
I don't know. I saw Satchel playing that character, but in full Steel Panther garb.
And then I'll be the dude that looks pretty and knows karate.
Right. There you go. I would, you know, if they were to redo that movie, I don't know who would play the Ralph Macchio.
Tom Holland, probably.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah. But as far as like the Jack Butler Devil's Advocate guitar player, I would say either Joe Bonamassa or Eric Gale. Just because it's what they do, people really can't touch. Yeah. And I'm not saying that they're like, I mean, because I love Joe Bonamassa as a younger guy. To me, the best guitar player walking the planet right now is Eric Gale.
Okay.
And just because he has no idea what the fuck he's doing, but he knows what he's doing.
Welcome to my life. I know how you
Yeah, I do.
I mean, this dude will go from blues to shredder back to fucking Vivaldi to Amadeus without missing a note. And he's so into. He might even have something to do with the Crossroads because he'll be playing like and it'll just start like what the fuck's going on? And it's the most intense shit. And then there's Derek Truxell too.
Ooh, yeah, he's another one.
Yeah, because Derek Truxell make you cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could do amazing things with that slide.
You know, he plays guitar like an old black female gospel singer.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe that.
There's a I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Because I want to be able to make myself cry. I don't know how to do it.
An onion.
Well,
I just
that was
remember
probably Robin's best joke on the podcast ever.
I just remember for the first time seeing the Tedeschi Trucks Band, and I'm like, I just remember sitting there watching, and I like leaned over to my friend. I was like, "Who's this white lady singing?" And my friend just looks at me and goes, "It's Susan Tedeschi." And I was like, "Oh, who?" He's like, "Oh my God, go home and look up Susan Tedeschi." I was just like,
I get it. Dude, did you ever see it was BB King, and he had John Mayer and Derek Trucks and Susan were all on stage with him. And dude, don't get me wrong, John Mayer's fucking dope.
Yeah, he's not just a John Mayer. Like, he can shred.
He can fucking play. But he did this solo, which I thought was fucking amazing. And then Derek Trucks did this solo, and BB King goes, "Yeah, that's the best I've ever heard."
Yeah.
He goes, "Pretty good." I was like, "Okay, all right." Derek Trucks is kind of a special kind of cat. But, all right, what's the next question?
Righteous. I've just got 2 more shotguns for you. What have you been doing during COVID, and to keep sane and not go crazy?
It's one answer for all 3 of those. Getting fat in the nude.
Keeping fat and nude.
Or getting fat in the nude.
Okay.
What have you been doing during COVID? Getting fat in the nude. What have you been doing to keep yourself sane? Getting fat in the nude. And what was the last part of it?
I don't even remember now, but that's wonderful. Well, my final question is there anything coming up? Any gigs, any tours, any studio dates?
Well, I've been in the studio right now. It's funny because, I talked to the twins about doing a Strange 80s show. And to be honest with you, I miss doing them. I miss putting them together. I miss all the chaos of making it work. But I don't think it's right for us to be the first people to do it. And I say that because, the way our shows work, it wouldn't work as a virtual show because it's all interactive. So
Sure.
Everybody that's in the crowd is singing the 80s songs that they grew up on. We have like 80s installations. We have multiple people in these super groups. So everybody's hanging out with each other. So for me, I don't think for what we do, we shouldn't be the first people to do it because it would seriously be a super spreader. I'm just being completely honest with you.
mm-hmm.
Do I miss that we can't do it? Yeah, I miss the shit out of it. If we get a pass and everything is cool and the numbers drop, yeah, we're gonna fucking we're gonna run it. Because we were supposed to do one in Vegas, we're supposed to do one in Minneapolis, we're supposed to do one in Mississippi, we're supposed to do one in the UK. So
cool. I'll see you in UK.
Yeah, I just don't want to be the first ones.
Sure.
We just don't know enough.
Sure. Do you, off the top of your head, do you know by any chance what venue y'all be doing it in Vegas?
No.
Right on. Just curious.
Yeah. They had talked about it because the Vegas one was kind of an idea, but they didn't have a venue in mind.
Sure. Well,
yeah, Vamp isn't big enough. Even though that's a great place, I don't think
absolutely.
Yeah. What is Vamp hold? Like 600?
Oh no. If I had to take a guess, I'd say 150, 200.
Is that really?
I'd maybe go 250 max.
Yeah, it's
I could be
it's
wrong,
a restaurant, but it's
Yeah.
awesome. If y'all need, I'd probably say Brooklyn Bowl or House of Blues.
Mm.
If you need,
All right.
800 plus.
Yeah, because we usually running between 1,200 and 1,200 and 2,000 people.
Yeah, probably one of those places, or just go big or go home and do the Joint at the Hard Rock.
Yeah, that's a good place.
I love that place.
That is a good place. Now I saw when I went to the Vamp. I went to John Five and Jared James Nichols.
Yes,
dude.
Great guitar players.
Damn. That guy, it blows my mind that he doesn't use a pick. Like,
I'm still mad at him.
like, and we were talking about this the other day, and I don't remember who asked the question. It may have been me, about like who's your favorite guitar player right now, or favorite guitar players. And John Five was on my list. It's like,
right.
That guy's my first introduction to him was working at a music store, and someone brought in one of his DVDs, and like he's playing like chicken picking stuff, and there's like weird girls dancing in the background. I'm just kind of looking at him like, what? I'm so he looks like someone in a Marilyn Manson band, which he was at the time.
Right.
But he's playing country, and there's like provocative women in the background. I am so confused by what's happening right now.
Dude, his chicken picking is because he was Katy Perry's, or not Katy Perry, Katy Lang's guitar player.
Oh wow, I didn't know
I was
that.
like, Katy Perry, what?
Not Katy Perry, Katy Lang.
Yeah,
that's when he got his start. He was a chicken picker. He was a country player.
He's great at that stuff. He's got a super tight band. I've seen him twice in Vegas and once in Nashville, and it's always phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll send you when we did Beat It, because he's like, hey, we're gonna do Beat It. I'm like, who's gonna sing it? He's like, oh, no singer. I'm gonna play the vocal line on guitar. I'm like,
yep.
All right, who else is in? He goes, Charlie Bonanni's gonna play drums, and Scott Ian's gonna play rhythm guitar. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Fuck it.
That's awesome.
And he fucking crushed it.
And
he's, you know what? And that fucking dude, man, he's such a nice dude. He's such a sweetheart. And Rita, his wife, is a sweetheart too. And that's all he does is play guitar.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
In his PJs on Instagram.
Yeah. And he's so good. And he's such a cool dude. And, I admire people like that where, because, like, people know John Five from, like, Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson.
Sure.
But when I first stumbled across him, he was doing fucking country stuff with Katie Lang. I'm like, well, that guy's fucking good. Then all of a sudden he's wearing, like, the cake makeup and fucking cutting his eyebrows off or something. Like, what?
Yeah. Dude, I love it, man. I definitely want to have you back on if you're down, man.
Dude, I've got another bottle of Jim Beam anytime you want to do it.
Awesome.
What
awesome.
are you doing next week? Do we want to just do part 2?
Yeah, why not?
Well, because there are definitely 2 questions on here that I'm not even going to say live, because I know they are going to have very deep stories involved. So
And I've got a few back pocket ones too, and not even back pocket, front pocket ones too, and fanny pack ones.
Like
too.
the little pocket that only fits a guitar pick. That pocket, or
that pocket, both pockets.
Man, now
the
you
one
guys talking about
pocket.
pockets just makes me think of Wolfpack and their song "Back Pocket." Oh man,
Dude, that's put it in the pocket, man. Put it in the pocket, man. Dude,
Yeah.
that's such a fucking good song.
dude, they record so their album. I live at a recording studio, and they recorded like 3 of their songs from their like previous album here, and it was like one of those things that I'm just like, what? And yeah, like my landlord who owns the studio is like, yeah, it was a really weird day because they just came into the studio and then set everything up and just went into the control room and just pushed play and just recorded. Like they didn't. It's everybody in the same room doing their thing. They overdubbed vocals a little later, but they said they recorded for like 4 hours just straight, just all these different, just nothing. Like there's no stopping. There's just did it, and I'm like,
I love that kind of shit.
and then they said that the room smelled for the next 2 days.
That's good.
hey man, you smell a little bit, Robin.
I know, but I don't think I'm gonna stink a room up for 2 days.
That's why we're not doing any more questions or anything. Cause like already, just the little. I said pockets, and then it turned into another 20 minutes of talking. Which
Well-
I'll do it all night, but then People are
Yeah,
gonna fall asleep
gotta-
eventually.
Hey, look, Zach and TJ, you guys got to find that song. It's a cute little fucking song. The video is fucking weird, but the song is fucking.
Yeah.
Weird videos make a song even better though sometimes.
That's true.
You gotta love a weird video. Well, Mr. Dahniel, it's
Yeah.
been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and can't wait to get you back on. For all of you who tuned in, be sure to go check him out and all of his projects. Thank you all, of course, for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, and we love you. God bless you. Have an amazing week. We'll see you next week. Mr. TJ.
Daniel, thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
sir. It's
Thank
been fun. It's that instant bond we all got. It's awesome. Like, it's been fun, and we could probably do another 10 hours of this. Just
Yeah, we'll probably
go all night. But yeah, love y'all.
come out to the Fox.
Yeah,
We'll be there.
absolutely.
I want that DK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good night. I'll carry you home, Zach. And we'll go from there. But yeah, love you guys. The subscribe thing sounds stupid, but we're just trying to get that little /rock detention and go from there. But it's been a blast. Robin, as I usually say, over to you like a weatherman.
This has been probably my favorite one, like, episode we've had for a long time, because I could nerd out for and like truly truly nerd out. So that was really a lot of fun for me. So I really look forward to having you come back on, and I look forward to all of us hanging out in LA when all of this shit is over.
And barbecue at my place.
Boom,
Yeah.
done. You had me at barbecue. But yeah, please, follow us on at Rock Detention at pretty much everything except YouTube. It just says at
And
Rock.
Twitter.
Oh no, that's right. It's
_
Twitter. That's what it is. At
God.
Rock _detention. And
We're in a
please
battle with that.
and please follow Daniel. He's you can find him on Instagram at Knight with a K, my XX, and that's his thing.
Sounds like a porn thing, but it's not.
But yeah, so go give him a follow and keep up with him. Yes, for all of those wondering, that is a fully automatic Nerf gun in the corner.
For none of you wondering.
I'm never gonna miss it, guys. I'm never gonna miss it.
You were so close last week.
No, I know. I was intentionally waiting last week, but someone had to mention it. But so all right, guys, class dismissed. Are you gonna?
Oh, did you say class?
Yeah, I said
dismissed?
class dismissed.
Is this thing still on?
Yes, it's still on. Keep going.
Now is it
I
still
will
on?
cue you when it is done. All right, Zach, we're done.
Okay.